welcome to Box Hill City Oval for VFL action this morning between the Box Hill Hawks and Richmond. Great to have your company wherever you're watching. A great day for footy, and we're looking forward to this contest. Jess Webster with you in commentary alongside a couple of superstars, former Roo and Bomber, All-Australian and best and fairest Todd Goldstein, and Collingwood AFLW star and best and fairest Jordan Allen. G'day Jordan and Todd, great to have you on the coverage this morning.
Great to be here, Jess. Looking forward to it, Todd.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be hopefully a competitive game, and we'll get to see some young stars come out to play.
Certainly do. Plenty out there on the park today. Hawthorn, last year's preliminary finalists, they're searching for their 5th win of the season. And coming back from injury, good to see him back on the park, is James Blank. Looking forward to seeing how he goes.
Yes, returned from an ACL injury round 4 last year and didn't miss a game. Played 19 games, so good to see him back after a little bit of a shoulder injury, and hopefully he can put together some consistent football this season. 14 AFL listed players for Hawthorn today. The injury crisis has hit the Richmond Footy Club hard. So hard, in fact, there are 0 AFL listed players out there for the Tigers today, but there is an opportunity for a lot of young players to put their name up in lights. One of those is Sam Toner, a 20-year-old who's really growing in confidence and having a great season for the VFL Tigers so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's starting to really step up. He's averaging over 4 shots a game, and his speed, his endurance, his ability to leap high is a real standout. So hopefully he'll put his name up in lights today.
Time to welcome in the final member of our commentary team this afternoon on the boundary. It's a big hello and welcome to Drew Jones.
Thank you very much, Jess, and hello, team. Yeah, beautiful day for footy here at Box Hill City Oval. So 18 degrees at the moment, top of 23. That rain has stayed away. It's going to hit us pretty hard here in Melbourne over the weekend, but not until later. And we are going to talk about some of the mid-season draft prospects a little bit later on. You mentioned Sam Toner. We've got a few that could potentially put their names up in lights. And Box Hill back at this stadium for the first time this season. A redevelopment going on at the moment, so they're back in familiar surrounds.
Thank you, Drew. As we get underway here at Box Hill City Oval, we're going to have a secondary ball up as Joel Garner is wrapped up in the middle. Going to be Lockwood and Ruck for the Tigers up against Ui Henry. There's a whistle on play. Free kick for holding the ball. Early opportunity through Oliver Greaves, a young 19-year-old. They can link it up on the broadcast side. Mraz sends it to half forward. Murray was the target. Coming through for the Tigers was Cantwell, but he's been caught holding the ball. So a number of changes to the Tigers this afternoon. 7, in fact, 3 of those AFL players, and 4 injuries to some VFL listed players as well. So hitting them at all levels at the moment. Good pressure on the mark has caused a turnover. They can get an opportunity on the wing. Yassine scraps a kick in board. Scott found some space and then hands it off to Collier. So try and get around Hill. The tough person to try and get around. He managed to get the handball out, but it is a turnover as Anderson cleans it up for the Hawks. Now a chance for McDonald to send them up forward. It's a great mark just inside the field of play. Schubert towards the teeth of goal, and it's going to be across the face for a minor score.
Bit of an arm wrestle to start the game here. Both teams are just struggling to get their hands on the ball and possess the game for a little bit. We know from Richmond they are #1 for rebound 50, so I'm expecting that it's going to live in this defensive half for the majority of the game today.
And you can see just neither sides really want to kick long. They're trying to play short, possess the footy, just to a lack of tools, especially on Richmond's side, but both teams want to control the footy.
Good play out of defence from the Tigers, but kick just didn't quite have the carry. Out to Lockwood on the outer side, and he's going to be wrapped up. Well, it's going to be, no, dragged it in, so he's going to be penalised for holding the ball. Good strong start to Ui Henry. They're working around by hand, the Hawks. Good pressure applied by the Tigers. They do get out of trouble. Farah, one of the young prospects to look out for today, pokes it down the line to Nan, the 18-year-old draftee out of Central District. Happy hunting ground in terms of recruitment for the Hawks. There's quite a number of SA faces out there. They keep it alive close to the boundary, but the Tigers win out. Last line of defence, Connolly. It's a good kick to find Toner, the man we were speaking about pre-game.
Long way from home there, Todd.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to have him scoreboard impact from there.
13 goals, 12 for Sam Toner in his 6 VFL games so far this season. Top scorer with 6 goals in round 3 against St Kilda. This is Lachlan Street getting a kick away. Sharkey goes backwards by hand to Street. Tigers look to generate something off half-back. Harry Scott, top 5 last year in the Fothergill Round Mitchell medal. He's another young prospect to watch out for. As far as the Tigers are concerned, he bombs it to a dangerous position up forward, off hands, and Sofronides wraps things up. So we're getting an early look here up forward, the Tigers. As we mentioned off the top, 0 AFL listed players in action today. Greaves from the stoppage. Horner, one of the most experienced players, out wide to Trent Bianco. Wants to use the corridor. That's a great kick too. Just couldn't quite complete the mark, but they'll win out here. Hill. Handball's over the top. Nan towards half forward. He's turned it over. Cantwell. Pump it forward again for Richmond. It's going to bounce in front of Toner. See what he can do. Lovely spin move from Cantwell. And the kick was a bullet. And it's worked out. Ollie Houghton is going to have a look at the big sticks.
Both sides just doing everything they can to not kick it long, just trying to build the ball up in that back half and then try and go quick once they get over halfway.
And the risk with that sometimes is the overpossession, and it exposes teams to turning the ball over. And we've seen that on multiple occasions where the ball's dropped short, another opposition player has leapt on it and gone back the other way. So it's definitely a balance you need to strike between that short and long kicking game.
Ollie Houghton spent some time on St Kilda's list. 6 VFL games this season. He's kicked 3 behinds. So let's see if he can make the most of his opportunity here from 50 out. Not quite going to have the journey or the accuracy, and it's going to miss the entire set. So a number of changes, as we mentioned, to Richmond coming into today. The AFL listed players out of the side: Fawcett, Roberts, Thompson and Ryan. 4 additional injuries to some VFL listed players. So 0 AFL listed players out there today. Geordie, in the AFLW program at Collingwood a couple of years ago, you were decimated with injury as well. Like, what does it do to, I guess, a squad when you're going through a crisis like this?
Well, the greatest indicator of performance is the consistency of players that you have on the park. So if you don't have the consistent heads every single week, it makes that predictable game style pretty hard. And having to go deep into your VFL program, it obviously doesn't strengthen the VFL program itself. So it's a bit of a lose-lose situation. So the health of the list is absolutely integral.
It also forces players that aren't ready for high game time to play even higher game time or more consecutive games, which unfortunately then adds to the toll of injuries.
Long kick to the top of the goal square, rising high, Lowther. Impressive mark. 19 years of age, nearly 200 centimetres. Showed all of his athletic ability on that occasion. He's fresh out of the Geelong Falcons, first year on Richmond's VFL list. To cap off a great mark with the first goal of the game. He's missed. I'd love to have that kick again.
And this is the thing, it gives players like Lowther a real chance to put their name up here. And with the mid-season draft coming up, the more these guys can take these marks and hopefully finish the goals, but take the marks and show that they've got something to work with, it's just going to give them that opportunity, that excitement.
And Goldie, you went through something a little bit similar as well with the Bombers in the VFL. They were decimated with injury as well. Have you ever seen an instance where there's been 0 listed players?
No, I haven't seen 0. I think we got down to only 2 or 3 last year when we were going in the midst of our injury crisis. I think we had 18 to 20 players on our injury list, so it was hard to field a side each week from AFL listed, but it just puts so much pressure on the entire football club, AFL and VFL, that it becomes hard each week just to get up for the games.
It's an opportunity for Box Hill. Cody Anderson. Sends it out wide. Dalton pokes it down the line. Tom Farah, just 20 years of age, into the pocket, off hands. He's lurking for the Hawks. The ball spills free. Tackle applied. We're going to have a ball up.
Find this approach from Box Hill. Perhaps they've been encouraged to use their hands a little bit more. We know they're a kicking team, and at times you see them just cough the ball up, and whether that is a directive of their coaches or the pressure that the Richmond team is putting them under remains to be seen.
Jack Dalton receives a free kick. Pick 34 in last year's draft. Recorded the fastest 2K of the combine. Also a member of the Coates Talent League Team of the Year as well. Such an exciting young prospect for the Hawthorn Footy Club. And he makes no mistake for the first goal of the afternoon.
Just infringed there in the desperation to wrap the ball up. I think as a defender, that's the worst feeling ever. Loose ball inside D50. You just want to do anything to create a stoppage and catch your breath back, and it's easy enough to do just to fall into the back of your opponent. So unfortunately, just gave away one there.
Hawthorn Box Hill with the first goal of the game this morning as we head downstairs to Drew Jones.
Jess, thank you very much. So the mid-season draft only a few weeks away. As I've spoken to both coaches in the lead up to the game, I've got a couple of names for you to look out for today. So Brodie McLaughlin, who has twice won the leading goal kicker award in the VFL, the Frosty Miller Medal. He's got 18 goals this year, 224 across his career. A train on with the Hawks during the pre-season, but he broke his foot and missed out on the SSP selection. He'll be putting his name up in lights today, and one to look forward to for Box Hill as we let you get back to live play.
Thank you, Drew. Yeah, Brodie McLaughlin's in sublime form as well. 18 goals, 5 from his 5 games already in this year's VFL season. Scrappy kick forward. Bounce doesn't quite favour Hill. Coming through for the Tigers was Scott. And that ball is locked up. We're going to have a ball up.
Such a good opportunity for those SSP train-on players, even if they don't get picked up, just to be in the AFL environment for a couple of month period. You can just see it come out, their form comes out, and they're usually the better players in the VFL as well.
Lockwood with a tap straight down to the Hawks. We send it inside forward 50 off hands. Roving it with Street. Try to exit the danger zone. Swooping on it is the Hawks, and they go backwards by hand. Horner. Down the line. This is, again, looking like another promising build-up for Box Hill. Well, good pressure being applied by the Tigers. Now the high kick into the pocket. Back with the flight was Lukic. Couldn't come down with it. Hawks wanted a free kick. Nothing doing. We're going to have it toss in the air. Lockwood laying a tackle on Lukic and Ruck, and we're going to do it all again. This time Lockwood goes with the bump, wins the tap. Hurry kick out of congestion. A lot of play on that outer side at the moment. Sofronides, though, he's coughed it up. Cantwell. Off to Stewart. Sean Light sends it into the middle.
Great kick.
Johnson. Now things are opening up here for the Tigers. George. This kick has to be good. Oh, it was. Yes, it is. The juggling effort is completed. Great build-up. James Milner completes the grab.
Each time that Richmond have gone inside 50, they've made it look so seamless the way that they've moved the ball. They've opened up the ground by coming into the open side, and it just looks like they've got paddocks of space to work into, something that Box Hill haven't seemed to be able to find moving forward in this game so far.
On debut today is James Milner, 19 years of age. Kicks it across the face of goal. And Declace just hacks it out of the danger zone for the Hawks. Might be coming back. The Tigers do have the numbers around the footy. Big Street hands it off to Connolly. Now out wide over the head of Pollux, but he can run onto it, tries the fend off and just gets the handball away in time. Sharkey inboard. Connolly, likewise, swings it across to Loftus. Made his debut last week. They go forward again, Richmond. There's a whistle on play and a free kick. It's going to be Box Hill free kick.
Unlucky there by Sam Toner. He just looked like he worked his opponent under well then, but yeah, unfortunately just got pinged for it.
Perez roaming the last line of defence for the Hawks. It's going to be kept alive by Pollux. Mentalai sends it back into the pocket. Good work by Perez in the contest to work it out of bounds. Back down to Drew on the boundary.
Jess, thank you very much. So just to continue on our chat about the mid-season draft. So I reckon he's got just about the best name in the VFL, and that is Moot El Noor, playing for the Richmond Tigers. You won't miss him today, number 57. He's rated really highly by the Tigers, the best and fairest last year. Key defender, most intercept possessions across the VFL this season. He, as a 24-year-old, will be ready to go and play AFL footy if a club decides to take a risk on him. A couple of names today, you've already mentioned Sam Toner, Harry Scott as well, playing midfield for the Tigers, and Sam Sofronides, who spent some time with the Collingwood AFL program, attempting to get an SSP a couple of years ago.
Thank you, Drew. El Noor, club vice-captain for the Tigers, and his VFL debut for Preston back in 2021-22. Joined Richmond back in 2023, so he spent a couple of years now in the program. Wobbly kick forward. Breaking it up was McDonald. Stays alive for the Tigers. That's a neat kick. That one, though, across the face of goal and out of play. From Loftus.
Street's getting busy. He's the highest disposal getter on the ground, and with 2 inside 50s, he's been crucial when Box Hill have tried to rebound the ball. Seems to be it's landed in his lap every single time, and he's been really crucial going back inside 50.
And he's one of those players that they'll lean on today in terms of leadership as well.
Absolutely.
No AFL listed players out there. He's been part of the program for 8 years now. Lachlan Street won their 2019 VFL Premiership as well. Here's another opportunity for Tigers. They get themselves a free kick.
Would love to see them convert here. It seems that the momentum has been sitting with the Tigers in this quarter, and they just need to apply a little bit of scoreboard pressure. Especially
with Richmond struggling the clearances. They're already down 6-1 in clearances. They just need to make these opportunities. They've had 5 inside 50s for just the 1 point so far.
Joel Garner, his 3rd year at the Tigers, played 4 games for Port Adelaide a few years ago. In he comes, and he sends it through the middle. The Tigers are on the board. We've got a level ball game. A great reward for effort, as you mentioned, Geordie.
Absolutely. As we see here, the ball just bubbles around, and fantastic work here by Joel Garner just to get his arms free. And rewarded with a free kick. It seems to be, again, inside D50. The really nervous defenders trying everything they can to win the footy back. But again, the reward for effort, the momentum was definitely sitting with the Tigers in that quarter. And so to apply a little bit of scoreboard pressure puts the game back in their terms.
From the middle, Greaves overran it. And they all dive on top of the footy. Umpire calls for it.
It's a really good opportunity for UI Henry as the Cat B rookie just to get a good games into his body. He's starting to dominate the ruck with his 209-centimetre frame.
209 centimetres. Pretty handy. How tall are you, Todd?
I'm 201.
201.
So it's another level, these guys. So, yeah, or they don't get any smaller as the game goes on, that's for sure.
Great build-up from the Hawks through Ward. Just didn't get enough purchase on the kick. Now Phillips in defence for the Tigers. Dangerous kick, but it works out to Mackenzie. Jamie UI Henry is from a basketball background. We always love that, don't we, in our game? Mentioning who comes from a basketball background. But yeah, 209 centimetres. He's a lifelong Hawthorn fan as well. So still new to the game, but gosh, such a raw prospect to look forward to, watching him develop over the years.
I actually played against him in his first ever practice match for last year for Box Hill. So he's a big boy. He's very, very raw. So he's got a lot to learn. I think he went back to local level and has applied his trade there. So you can see he's definitely starting to improve now.
So you taught him a lesson that day, is that what you're saying?
I taught him a few things. I was kind to him.
So you see a miss from Connolly. But how do you learn the ruck craft? Like what does he need to, or any developing ruck for that matter, need to work on early stages when you're still kind of learning the game and learning the craft?
It's just it's a lot of it is stuff you can't just get from games. It's about just growing your body, getting used to the contact. You can see he's a very thin frame, so he's got to get used to that. But it's just how you position your body, how you use your strengths. I think that's every single ruckman's different. Their capabilities are different. It's just about how you position yourself, and the only way you learn that is by playing games of footy and applying your trade in the VFL.
That advice is coming from Todd Goldstein, who holds the record for most hitouts in VFL AFL history. So, good advice from you, Goldie.
Just hanging on.
Who's going to break their record? Who's the next one?
I think Gorney's about 2,000 off. but he looks like he's going to play forever the way he's going at the moment.
Isn't he in phenomenal form? So Hawks by a point. It's been a strong competitive first quarter. So Richmond with the 2 wins to their name this VFL season. They kicked it off with a win against Southport in round 1, had a win against St Kilda in round 3, and they've lost their last 3. Box Hill coming into today's clash with a 4-2 record. They've won their last 3. Here's Greaves. Can pump it long into the pocket. Well done in the contest from player we were speaking about earlier, and El Nua.
Brodie McLaughlin absolutely incredulous that he didn't get a free kick for that. Thought maybe perhaps he got it in the back. Not to be.
It's going to be a good matchup to watch, though. El Nua and McLaughlin going at it today. That kick has been chopped off. Nan into the pocket. Was it out of play? It's Anderson. Oh, I hope he hasn't hurt himself on the concrete. It was out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a free kick to the Tigers.
Having the ball locked inside D50, Box Hill just look a little bit more organised on the rebound here. It's given them a chance to kind of gain a little bit more ascendancy, as we spoke about the momentum that Richmond had held in the first half of this quarter. Perhaps they're trying to wrestle it back.
Gonna have a stoppage on the wing.
They've done well over the last few minutes just to be able to press up and take away all those short kicks, because any time the ball is getting kicked in long, it favours Box Hill.
Eli Henry with the tap. Tries to go back in, and Footy eventually does come out. Good handball away, Greaves. Pokey kick down the line. Good strong tackle from Ward to lock things up. Sharkey, Street and Connolly all on 8 disposals in this first quarter. Seen plenty of it. It's McCabe from the stoppage. Garner. Up and under kick. Won't be the required distance, so the mark won't be paid. Got another ball up. Greaves handballs over his head. That tackle slipped high. Umpire said no.
It's a good opportunity for some of these Box Hill mids just to go to work without Henry Huswaite, who's been a common theme down there with 28 touches and 9 clearances. Someone else has to step up, and they're doing it by committee at the moment by the looks of things.
Julian into attack. El Nua comes charging through, but he's brought to a halt. So Huswaite, one of the outs for the Hawks today, alongside Morrison, Ramsden and Ryan, all on AFL duties. Huswaite's been in fine form at this level, as you mentioned, Goldie. Uri Henry with a tap. Greaves squeezes a kick forward. It was touched as it goes out of play, so I'll have it thrown back in. Great to see plenty of fans as well have filtered through to Box Hill City Oval. It's good to see footy being played back at this venue again.
Ground is in lovely condition too.
It's looking good. Got a good competitive contest early as Anderson from the stoppage just couldn't quite get the curl on the kick. Out of bounds on the full. Here's another one looking for their opportunity at AFL level. Cody Anderson was picked up in the 2024 draft, pick number 64 out of the Eastern Rangers, known as the Beast from the East. 24 VFL games experience now, has kicked nearly a goal a game so far this season.
Did he give himself that nickname?
I reckon he might have. It's a good nickname though. Highly rated. Another intercept mark to the Hawks. Blank into the pocket. Little nudge out, no free kick. Pollux couldn't hang on to the grab. Tigers, though, unable to exit defence. Flying shot on goal is an absolute ripper from Scott. In fact, I think it might have been Bianco with the finish at goal. It was, and the Hawks have a couple.
Just pickpocketed there by Bianco. He had a shot on goal earlier in the quarter. He's just been lively down there. I think that's what they've got him in for. That small forward who can bring that energy and that pressure. Always a chance to kick a goal.
Good forward pressure applied by Box Hill. And off one step too. Outstanding finish.
Very, very smart play, but great pressure as well by the whole Box Hill side. And you can just see the young and tested mark game of Richmond that started really well. They're already up to 26, but it's really dropped off over the last sort of 10 minutes.
Box Hill dominating inside 50s, 13-7 so far this quarter. I think that's reflective of the last 5 or 10 minutes of this quarter when it's just been trapped in their forward 50.
Kick to the outer side. Dalton's going to swoop on this. Send it to half forwards. Knocked away from Anderson. Oh, a scrappy kick to a dangerous position. Tigers defence now well and truly under the pump. They work it out nicely by hand. Loftus, kick out wide is good. Stewart can move it further afield. Goes in board. George, promising build up here. Lai. And they've got a mark up forward. Great work from the Tigers. Rye Cantwell, the recipient.
Beautiful build-up. Again, they've got that slingshot play that just seems to carve open the Box Hill defence, whether they're getting a little bit too high. They've done so well and they seemed really organised in order to generate repeat inside 50 entries. But as soon as they opened up that first contest, they went end-to-end and they've got a shot on goal.
On the quarter-time siren, Rye Cantwell comes in and pumps it through. Great end to the quarter from the Tigers. And at quarter time here at Box Hill City Oval, it is the Hawks by a point, 2-2-14, leading Richmond 2-1-13. A great start to this contest on Saturday morning at Box Hill City Oval, VFL action. And as we take you to the break, don't forget, coming up a little later, we are going to learn a little bit more about Stu Horner. But stay with us, second quarter coming up after the break.
It can be quite tough, the VFL at times. You've got blokes working a full day coming into a session. You know, if you're not enjoying your time here, that can be really challenging. Particularly early on, I was a bit of deer in headlights, and you know, you play against some pretty phenomenal players. We've always done really well as an alignment. It's a challenging environment always when you've got two programs. How do you come together? But to us, we almost see it as a bit of an advantage. We get to be really close with those AFL boys.
to Box Hill City Oval for VFL action this morning. We've already seen a couple of highlights and an entertaining first quarter. These two sides, Box Hill Hawks and Richmond, trading blows in that opening quarter, and at quarter time it is the Hawks with a 1-point lead. 2-2-14 plays 2-1-13 at quarter time. Jess Webster with you alongside a couple of best of fairest winners. Collingwood AFLW star Jordan Allen, former Roo and Bomber Todd Goldstein. Guys, pretty competitive opening quarter, and you both really liked the look of some of the Richmond ball movement.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see they're getting a lot of run and carry, and when they open up that open side and really slingshot it through there, they're looking very, very dangerous.
No AFL listed players out there for the Tigers, Geordie, but they're playing like some of their team play has been really impressive.
Impressive, that's it. And I've loved the way that they possess the ball. I think Box Hill have tried to create this overlap game. They're using probably more handballs than they're used to, whereas Richmond, whenever they've had possession of the game, they're able to find a mark and get the ball forward. But as Todd said, the way that they were able to work the ball out of the pressure zone of their D50 and then slingshot it, Box Hill don't seem to have an answer for it at the moment.
And they're gonna have to. When the clearances are 13-2, hit-outs advantage are 8-0, they're gonna have a lot of time, the ball in their defensive 50 a lot, and they're gonna have to work it out really well.
Certainly advantage for Box Hill out there today is 209-centimetre ruckman and Jamie Henry, who's doing very well in the ruck as we head downstairs to the boundary. Drew Jones.
Thank you, Jesse. With Dave Mira. What did you make of the first quarter, Dad?
Yeah, I thought Richmond were able to use the ball pretty well, taking a lot of uncontested marks. I think they were 20 uncontested marks midway through that quarter, and so we just need to cut that out and stop them from possessing the footy. I thought we were a little bit fumbly too, so just cleaning up and being cleaner with the ball, and then it's a big ground, so using our ability to get out and start to generate some uncontested marks for ourselves and control some of the footy, and then try to be a bit cleaner going inside forward 50.
Big first quarter for Jamie, and he's given you first use, he's dominating clearances. How do you convert that into on the scoreboard?
Yeah, as I said, we've just got to be a bit cleaner and choose the right options going forward. Our forwards working together to create some space and get some deeper entries into some space. So,
good luck, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
So second quarter about to get underway here at Box Hill City Oval. Lockwood in ruck for the Tigers. First year on their VFL list out of South Bendigo. Tough task for him today coming up against Jamie Henry. Goals in that first quarter to Dalton and Bianco for the Hawks, Garner and Cantwell for the Tigers. Young Aaron Sharkey, the 19-year-old, 11 disposals in that opening quarter for Richmond. He started his morning off in fine fashion as we get the second term underway. Bianco, a little fumble, goes back in for a second effort. Handball's out wide. Continue to move it forward. Anderson with a shot towards goal is absolutely sublime. Hawks with an early goal in the second term.
Gosh, it's easy as that, isn't it? I love the way that Bianco just got that ball forward with a booming forward handball. We spoke about, we just heard from the coach, they wanted to get the ball out of the stoppage. I think it was a feature of their first quarter. They were just inviting the pressure by keeping the ball in that tight in the contest, whereas if you break that outer layer, it gives the opportunity for players like Anderson to run on top of it, take it forward and kick a goal.
And that's just a little bit of cleanliness around the ball as well. That's what the coach asked for, and that's what they delivered that passage.
Be pretty happy with that as a coach. Clearly, they've got a coachable group there.
Makes it 6 goals in 7 games, I should say, for Cody Anderson, young 20-year-old prospect. Bianco to Greaves, set up that last goal. Out wide to Anderson, couldn't complete the mark. Stripped to the footy. Phillips was caught holding the ball, free kick to Box Hill.
That's 2 from 2 clearances. We spoke about the clearance deficit in that first quarter, but we're seeing a greater use of that clearance power that they've got compared to the Richmond mids.
Donald, searching kick to Leray. Out wide to McCabe. 3rd year on Hawthorn's list. Out of a 2023 draft crop. Another South Australian out there as well. Long kick into the pocket, strong hands, McLaughlin. He has been in superb form this season. And this is our first real look at Brody McLaughlin this morning. $18 goals, 5 he has kicked coming into today from his 5 games. Former Gold Coast listed player. He's a VFL Premiership player, leading goal kicker, Team of the Year from a couple of seasons ago. Has scored in every game this season so far. And he can't bring that one back enough. And he's certainly one to watch for this morning.
Indeed, I dare say with deliveries like that, he might have a few more opportunities to take a bite of the cherry.
Turned to almost a contested mark, almost into an uncontested one, the way the ball just dropped in there.
He's kicked over 200 goals at this level, only 100 games.
Applying the defensive pressure there as well to just make the Richmond defenders earn it.
Just goes over the head of Johnson. Opens the door for the Hawks, and that's going to be high contact. Yanko's been lively. On cue, he's turned it over. And the Tigers might make them pay as Toner finds himself in space up forward.
You can see the conscious effort of Box Hill to push up, but someone has to stay a little bit back and not let them out the back like that, because that's just too easy.
It's the second time that you've seen Sofronides have to scramble back to try and intercept to a player who's goal side of him. It's probably indicative of maybe not having a deeper layer to prevent that as an anchor, I guess.
There's also the issues with turning the ball over in the corridor like they did.
A young player on the rise, but that one fades late. So Tigers just couldn't quite make them pay. Hawks with a bright start the first couple of minutes of this second term. Sam Toner, 13 goals, 13 now, his return in 2026. Perez with a kick-in duties for Box Hill. Long to a big pack on the wing, coming from behind. Schubert just couldn't complete the mark. Hill stripped to the footy. Collier. It's a patient kick, just the required distance. Leray immediately wanted to look to the corridor. It's a good kick. Strong hands under pressure from Greaves. Eastern Rangers Premiership player. To Blank. Great to see him back from injury. Perez received from Horner. This is more of a patient build-up from Box Hill. Mraz down the line. Kick inside, forward 50s, ill-directed. Elnua mops things up for the Tigers in defence. Out of Deer Park, 4th year in Richmond's program. Another one trying to put his name up in mid-season draft calculations. Almost a one-handed grab from Toner. Not quite. It's going to be thrown back in.
Richmond just can't seem to find the footy early on in this quarter. Disposals are sitting 19-7 in favour of Box Hill with no handball received. So when they are getting it, they're often just sending it on the boot and unable to find clean possession.
Eli Henry takes it out of the ruck. Tigers are well set in defence. Johnson kicks for territory on the wing. Someone needs to get a hand on it before it rolls out of play. Hawthorn get there first. Strong mark back with a flight from Leray. He marks and takes off. Wobbly kick inside forward 50. Coming through was Polis for the Tigers, but he's brought to a halt. We're going to have a ball up. In fact, it's going to be a free kick. Connolly to Collier. Now they work it to Street. And they get the overlap run. Full kick down the line. Lockwood presents. Drive it inside forward 50. Gets out the back. There's a chance for Cantwell. He kicked a goal in that first quarter. Has to turn tackler on this occasion. As the crowd watches on from Box Hill City Oval.
It's like a lovely spot to watch the footy from up on that balcony.
It's not bad, is it? It's a good day for it so far. Hopefully the rain holds out for a little bit longer. It's a free kick. And amongst that to UR Henry. Spoken a bit about him today, 23 years of age. Played only the one VFL game last year. 6 games together so far this season. Tigers win the ball back. McKenzie shoots towards goal, and it's a ripper. Fantastic finish. The Tigers hit back.
I'm not sure that was his intended target, Todd. I think he was actually going to chip it short to the player in the square, and it's just carried over to the back. But good pressure here to just get a fist in there. That was Zayden Lockwood, just to cause a little bit of a spill, and then chipping the ball over. No, I will give him the credit. There was no player in the square, but just well placed, and what a great kick.
He was going to claim he meant it anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly right. That hurts for Box Hill though. They've got they've been owning the inside 50s, 5-3 that quarter. And again, story of the day, Richmond have just gone inside and been uber effective.
That's their only way forward, it seems, at this point, is they have to take their opportunities when they arise, and this quarter they're starting to do it now.
First score of the season for Tom McKenzie. He's one of the most experienced players out there today. He's a North Melbourne rookie back during the 2019 season, spent some time with Coburg as well. In his second year in Richmond's VFL program, and that was an outstanding finish. Back to a one-point ball game. Sean Lai playing his first game of the season. It's wrapped up. Still well on top in the clearances, 18-2. Richmond are hanging around on the scoreboard. Lockwood skies it towards half forward. Off hands, who's lurking for the Tigers. Charging through his lie, couldn't take the footy with him. Sofronides also involved for the Hawks. We're going to have the ball up at half forward.
Number 16.
Greaves. His hand pass smothered. Plenty of numbers around the footy. Ball does eventually squirt out. Phillips around the corner to a dangerous position. Offhand scrapping a kick forward was Milner, but it's away to the right. The scores are level.
I like this from Richmond. I think the story of the day is this arm wrestle, the ability to get the ball back on their terms. And it's incredible what scoreboard pressure does to improve the body language and the urgency of players. And they seem like a completely different team after that goal.
And it's just getting the ball inside forward 50 just allows their defence just to take a breather, to set up well. And that's where players like El Newell are going to start to have a bit more effect on the game.
Tigers win the clearance through Collier. Hurry kick around the corner. Bounce just didn't quite favour Yassine. DeClace spears it to the wing, knocked away from McCabe. Handball along the ground from McKenzie, the last goal kicker. Garner into the pocket, gets out the back. Toner will try and run onto it, tried to just paddle it to his own advantage, couldn't do so. Good tackle applied from Milner. Ball comes out. Hawks defence suddenly under pressure, but they're going to relieve a bit of the pressure. There's Lukic, and then he gets himself a 50-metre penalty as well.
that helps alleviate some of that pressure Box Hill were feeling. Advancing the ball 50 metres up the ground definitely helps.
Flares the kick out wide to Horner. Bianco continues it down the line to Flynn Perez. 3 AFL games for him this year. Back to Bianco and now to Dalton. He won the Sandy Dragons best and fairest off 9 games in his draft year. Pick number 34 in last year's draft class. Bianco from the wing, pumps it long for Box Hill. Big pack forms inside forward 50. Toe poking it forward with Sharkey, had plenty of it in the first quarter. They can get out of danger here, the Tigers. Sharkey chips it forward. Receive it back for another touch. Sofraniti standing in his way, though. Looked like that was high contact, no free kick. Umpire contentious to let it play a little bit. Now we're going to get a ball up.
I think it was just the raise of the arm there, just trying to play for a high free kick.
Should we start calling that the Guinea rule? the umpires only started enforcing that after Guinea started taking advantage of it.
I'm sure he'd appreciate that if he got to mention every time.
Yeah. Well, there's the Dusty. I think it's only fair we call that the Guinea.
I'm happy to roll with it.
So we've seen 1 Guinea today. Let's see how many we're going to see. From the ball in. Hurry kick out of there from Johnson. Up forward. Running onto it was Milner. Hands it off. The snap from Stewart. Dribbles through. And the Tigers are in front.
Feature of this Richmond team that I have absolutely loved watching today is they've never tried to make it look pretty, or they've just got the ball forward at any opportunity, which has meant that they've got so much territory that they really are putting the defence under pressure.
This is a moment too for young Kai Stewart, 18-year-old in his league debut out of the Oakley Chargers. He's known for being a good pressure forward with a nice left boot, and I think we just saw it there, Goldie.
Absolutely, and you can just see this smaller Richmond forward line. They're trying to use their pace, and they're really getting out of the back, and they're looking very dangerous, and they probably have all the excuses in the world just to have thought it's going to be a tough day. We're not going to go well, but they're really taking it to this Box Hill side, and it's impressive.
I've loved you've seen a few, when Box Hill have tried to rebound the ball, there was a few times, you saw Lockwood get a hand in there. A few of their defenders have just been able to scrap, which has allowed them to turn up and then win the ball back. They're features of a team that, again, when the chips are down, perhaps you don't have any AFL listed players. They're the non-negotiables, and that doesn't take talent.
So Box Hill had the momentum to start this second quarter, but Richmond have hit back. Injury crisis ripping through the club at both AFL and VFL level. They lost 4 players from last week's side of their VFL listed players to injury as well, the Tigers. And they've come to play this morning. All of a sudden it's Box Hill with some work to do. Lowther takes it out of the ruck. Skies it to half forward. It's kept alive by the Hawks. Bianco, good kick. Now they can look to generate some runoff half-back. Leray has a bounce, dodges an opponent, jams it on the boot, into the pocket. McCabe couldn't take the mark, and eventually it goes out of play.
Bianco's been busy this quarter, 8 disposals for the quarter, 14 for the game in total. I think every single time Box Hill look like they're taking the ball forward, he's had a hand in it.
Eli Henry takes it out of the ruck, stripped to the footy. Connolly coming through Hill. Can he provide some magic for the Hawks? It gets under the tackle. Hands it off to Anderson. Snaps towards goal. Hits the post on its way through. 2-1 this quarter, favouring Richmond. Big grab on the outer side to Mraz, who then turns it over. George. Searching kick to half forward. Back with a flight, Horner can clean it up. Sofronides gets the handball away. And they work the boundary line down the outer side. Declace just calls for a little bit of calm.
That's the mark of the year effect there from Raz. By no means was that mark of the year, but a pretty handy mark, and then you botch the disposal afterwards.
What's that feeling like as a player, Jordan, when you take a really great mark and then you just mess it up? Not to say that you've done that many times in your career. I wasn't you setting you up there.
No. Well, I'd like to say I've flown high a few times, but never been able to reel it in, so I wouldn't know what it's like to stuff the disposal up on the other end. Would be lying if I say you don't think about it when you know you've taken a good grab, though.
Does make it hard for them to replay the good grab, though, when you do turn over.
Exactly.
That's why that disposal after is so important.
You must feel the pressure, though, when you do, particularly up forward. You take a big, big mark up forward and then know you need to convert the goal and it doesn't quite work out. It's Horner. Down the line. Test a grab from McCabe was great. Third year on the Hawks list. Oh, Declace with a little bit of a fumble. It's time to regather. Kick was touched off the boot, so it won't be a mark. Lukic with the fist towards the boundary line. Well done by Anderson to keep it alive, but gives it back to Lukic, just tackled immediately.
They're going to even up the clearances a bit more this quarter. It's only 6-5 in favour of Box Hill, so Richmond have done well just to claw a little bit back in that.
I wonder whether that was a message from the runner, because the first 3 clearances of the game were absolutely in Box Hill's favour, so they've done well to even the scores.
Dalton caught, and it's going to be a halt. Send the Hawks back into attack. Great pressure on the mark, though, to affect the kick. Oh, big tackle just stood in his way was Dalton. Ball goes out of play, it'll be thrown back in. Oh. Just took the full force.
Good honest contest there.
Felt like something was going to be either holding the ball or high. Did feel like something was going to be paid then.
Going to have a toss back in. Shallow throw in, UI Henry. Gives it off to Greaves. He's been lively today. That ball's going nowhere. Now, this is one of my favourite toys when I was a kid. Blowing some bubbles. Great to see Footy fan has brought it to watch some VFL. Why not? Tigers emerge from the stoppage. George has a bounce and delivers the footy to half forward. Couldn't be completed. Good follow-up work from George. Lock things up, we'll get a ball up. Gives Nan a little pat on the head on his way through. Plenty of construction going on at Box Hill City Oval today. The benefit is, gives you some of the best seats in the house. Not much construction happening this morning, I don't think.
Looks pretty happy in that chair, just sitting back watching, taking in the game.
It's not a bad spot to watch the footy, in all honesty.
He's ready to throw the ball in if we need it.
Yeah.
Hawks by a point at quarter time. Tigers 2-1 in their second quarter. If you've just joined us, no AFL listed players out there today for Richmond. They've been absolutely decimated. 14 listed out there for the Hawks. Good intercept grab from Loftus. He made his debut last week. Swings it in board to Nankaro in his club debut today. Played a couple of games for the Gold Coast Suns in the VFL. Half forward lie. Into the pocket. There's another opportunity here for the Tigers. Lockwood this time on the end of it. So Zayden Lockwood, who's had his hands full on the ruck today, has floated forward. You can have a look at goal. First year on Richmond's VFL list. He's played, this is his 5th game for the season. He's yet to score a goal. So this would be a little moment for Zayden Lockwood. He's battled hard so far this morning. In he comes from 40 out. Kick is on its way, and it's through the middle. First VFL goal for Lockwood. And the Tigers extend their lead.
I'm a fan of Lockwood. I shouted him out earlier just for some of the nitty-gritty stuff that probably doesn't get acknowledged, the things that might not attract stats. You'd know, Todd, it's incredibly difficult being a ruck. I'd have absolutely no idea. But to be able to float forward and convert, I bet he's a teammate that he's the type of teammate you'd want to play with.
Yeah, and particularly when the hit-outs aren't going your way, you need to find other ways to impact and put your opponent under pressure. And with his mobility around the ground, with his endurance, his speed, it looks like he's someone that can get forward and kick goals, and that's how he can impact the game rather than just being about his ruck work.
And 7 tackles, so he's clearly doing it in the air as well as on the ground.
It's a nice moment for Lockwood, and then immediately resumes his position in the middle of the ground. Clearance will come from Garner. Go forward again, back with a flight. Perez couldn't complete the mark. Opens the door for the Tigers. Houghton snaps towards goal and slams it into the post. We've seen a few of those already today. Tigers are pressing.
When it rains, it pours. Again, the ability to go forward and just get a goal, that can just alleviate so much pressure, provide so much confidence for your team. It's a good opportunity, and it just helps realign everyone and gets them back on track.
Ball to be won on the wing. Schubert with his head over the footy. It's held to him. Holding the ball. In fact, he dragged it in. Loftus backwards to Nankaro. Goes all the way back to El Nula in defence. McKenzie. Great goal early this quarter. Look out, he's caught by Anderson. He sticks the tackle and he's going to be rewarded. Thought he might have just broken free there, McKenzie. Anderson did enough. Inboard to Greaves. And the lead is honoured.
Goes to show how much a skill error can cost you. Not just here from McKenzie here, but kicking it backwards, Loftus, and missing his defender, and it just puts you under so much pressure. If they had have hit that kick, they would have opened up the open side, and that's how they've been accessing inside 50 and giving them opportunities for shots at goal.
Particularly this part of the quarter as well. It's such an important time to try and finish the quarter well. They've done so well to build this 2-goal lead. They were just giving that little bit of confidence going to halftime with that, but now they give Box Hill a chance to cut into that.
Brodie McLaughlin for his first goal this afternoon. I think he's just got the journey. We're going to have a little bit of chat on the line. It was certainly very close. First look, it did look like it was touched, which I think is going to be the call.
Guess who?
One of your favourites, Geordie.
Lockwood.
Doing it both ends of the ground.
Exactly right.
So McLaughlin with a couple of opportunities today. Can't quite add to his goal tally so far. Amazing mark back at the flat. Mraz has done some nice things today. Handball through the hands of Perez. Has McDonald in support. Elect to go all the way backwards in defence to Leray. Close to half-time here. Hawks at the lead at quarter time. Tigers have owned this second quarter. Search a kick down the line. Sofronides, the target, couldn't hang on. Lai, a hurry kick off the boot. It's going to be intercepted by Leray. Indecisive at first, and a hurry kick off the boot. Well read in the air by El Nua. Out wide for Street. And the Premiership players from back in 2019. 8th year in Richmond's VFL program. One of the most experienced players out there today in the absence of any AFL listed players. Gets out the back where Perez is lurking. Bouncing ball towards the wing. And that's half-time here at Box Hill City Oval. And what a fight that was from the Tigers in the second quarter. They turned around a 1-point deficit at quarter time. Hawks for the first goal of the second quarter through Cody Anderson, before Richmond have hit back with the next 3. And they take an 11-point lead into half-time. 5-4-34 to Box Hill, 3-5-23. Goal kickers for Richmond today, Garner and Cantwell in that first quarter, and then goals in the second quarter to Stewart in his league debut as well. A fantastic finish from the pocket, Lockwood and McKenzie as well. And the goal kickers for the Hawks, Anderson, Dalton and Bianco, as we get down to ground level to Drew Jones.
Thanks, Jess. Lockie Street is with me. Lockie, fantastic effort in the first half, 11-point lead. Given all the injury issues at the club right now, you must be really proud.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, full VFL program out here today, so no AFL listed boys out here. But yeah, we've brought the energy, brought the contest, compete. So very happy with how the first half's gone thus far.
I'm not sure what your vantage point was like for Kai Stewart's goal, but on debut from the pocket, bit of razzle dazzle.
Yeah, something special. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve, so it was good to see that, and the boys get around him for his first goal, which is good, and also Zayden Lockwood kicking his first one as well. So awesome stuff to see.
Great start. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you. No worries. Cheers.
It's a number of great highlights for the Tigers in the first half. They started promisingly as they look to get back on the winners list and snap a 3-game losing streak in the VFL. At half-time, they lead Box Hill Hawks by 11 points. Stay with us. We've got Jordan Allen and Todd Goldstein to break down the first half coming up next. Well, injuries have decimated the Richmond Footy Club, so much so there are 0 AFL listed players out here in the VFL this morning, but you wouldn't know it at halftime. The Richmond Tigers leading last year's preliminary finalists, the Box Hill Hawks, by 11 points, 5-4-34, plays 3-5-23, and we have seen some highlights from the top shelf, including the first goal in the VFL to Kai Stewart and Zayden Lockwood in that second quarter as the Tigers turned around a 1-point deficit at quarter time to lead by 11 at the main break. Jess Webster with you alongside a couple of best and fairest winners, Collingwood AFLW star Jordan Allen and former Roo and Bomber Todd Goldstein. Guys, coming into today, I don't think we would have expected the Tigers to put up this much of a fight against a Hawthorn side with 14 AFL listed players, but they have been impressive in the first half. What has stood out to you both?
I think for me, it's been Richmond's ability to just make use of the opportunities that they've had. They've been effective going inside 50. I've spoken about their willingness to do the nitty-gritty stuff. And again, the mentality when you know you're coming up against a team that's got more AFL listed players than you, all you can do is show up and do those non-negotiables. And I think that has been a feature that's kept them in this game and helped them wrestle back momentum.
And I think from a Box Hill point of view as well, they've had a lot of possession. They had 33 marks in that quarter, but they're not going forward. They're not really putting this Richmond side under pressure. I think when they actually get in deep and long and either get a mark or create a forward stoppage, they look really dangerous, but they haven't done enough of that in that second quarter.
A lovely finish to Cody Anderson in that second quarter. That was the first goal of the second term that pushed the margin out to 8 points the way of the Hawks. But Richmond responded with the next 3, as we mentioned, and 3 goals as well from the top shelf. Mackenzie, Stewart, and then Lockwood. They have certainly provided the highlights today, haven't they?
Absolutely, and particularly when they're conceding. And how good was this? On the
Stewart's
left.
goal. First goal in VFL as well.
Pretty good. But if you're looking at Box Hill, they're +8 in inside 50s, +12 clearances, and +20 in hit out. So they're getting their hands on the footy and they're getting first service. They're just not making use of it.
And Todd, one player that's really caught our eye in the first half, Zayden Lockwood. He's got his hands full in the ruck. He's coming up against 209-centimetre prospect Jamie Henry in the ruck. But as you mentioned throughout the call, it's about how you can have impact around the ground as well. He's got a goal to his name. He's been doing it up forward in defence, as we just saw on the goal line, saving a shot at goal. What's impressed you about Lockwood today?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely Geordie's guy, but you know, I think that when you are outmatched in the ruck, and it is hard to get confidence around that because you are obviously getting dominated in the hit-outs, but just doing those little things, kicking a goal, having the 7 or 8 tackles, that spoil on the goal line that stopped a Box Hill goal, those little things that make such a difference to a team.
Particularly when you've only, you look at the stat sheet, he's only got 6 disposals, but no doubt he'll walk off the ground and he should be, his coaches and his teammates should be singing his praise. And if he can put together another half like he did in that first half, he'll be crucial to Richmond getting the result that they want today.
The Bendigo product and playing just his 5th VFL game in his debut season as well, the 20-year-old. So he's had a strong first half. So too the Tigers as they lead Box Hill Hawks by 11 points at the main break. Stay with us. We've got plenty to come coming up next.
My ultimate driver is win a premiership at the club, and I think it's something I've seen in my time, albeit I wasn't a part of it playing, but it was pretty special. It's only in sort of, recent weeks where it's sort of come up now that I'm approaching that 100 games. Particularly early on, I was a bit of deer in headlights, and you play against some pretty phenomenal players. It's definitely not been something that it's just overnight sort of changed. I suppose each season I've probably just developed a little bit more.
Corner to win the game for the Box Hill Hawks from 49 metres out. Cometh the moment, cometh the man.
Can be quite tough, the VFL at times. You've got blokes working a full day coming into a session. If you're not enjoying your time here, that can be really challenging. We've always done really well as an alignment, but to us we almost see it as a bit of an advantage. We get to be really close with those AFL boys. The club's got such a significant history, and we're really proud of what the club's achieved over those past 500 games that we've talked a lot about and got the boys to reflect upon, what it means to be a Box Hill player.
That's why we've been so successful as a football club. Because when we put the jumper on, doesn't matter where we come from, all right, we are committed to one another.
Look, he's a natural leader, and his strength is his ability to motivate a group. You can still see his values that he's really big on, those high standards, that connection between both programs. It's still evident from the moment he's walked back in. Everyone who's on a VFL list has either been cut or told they're not good enough at some stage. The chip on the shoulder that leaves some blokes, and the motivation, it can lead blokes to do some really special things. Obviously, young people these days, there's a lot being said around mental health and the well-being of our young people, and I think the biggest thing we can do is help them build a level of resilience. All's not lost if you miss out on that first draft. Just keep digging in, and I know where you'll get to.
He's been a wonderful servant of this football club, Stu Horner, the longest serving Box Hill player, joined way back in 2016 and earned life membership last year. And here he was at halftime, just giving his players a bit of a rev up, because they've got a challenge on their hands today. The Box Hill Hawks coming up against this Richmond outfit with 0 AFL listed players out there today, but it is the Tigers who lead by 11 points at halftime. 5-4, 34 to 3-5, 23. One player though for the Hawks who has been in good form in that first half, Jordan Allen and Todd Goldstein. Oliver Greaves is putting his hand up and doing some nice things.
Absolutely. 16 disposals up to half-time here. He's been doing it on the ground. 3 tackles and 3 clearances as well. He's a real smooth mover, and I like the way he uses the ball. He's had a hand in taking this team forward whenever they've had a chance at it.
So Box Hill have won their last 3 games, and they're coming off a bye as well before they take on Williamstown, St Kilda and Western Bulldogs in their next 3. Richmond trying to get back on the winners list this morning, I should say, and they lead by 11 points at half-time. Coming up, Super Saturday on Fox. Straight after this match, we're going to head to Adelaide Oval. The Adelaide Crows taking on North Melbourne. And then we have Narm against Hawthorn later on today, before Carlton take on the Western Bulldogs tonight, a crunch clash for those 2 clubs. Sunday ticket as well, all continues live on Fox Footy tomorrow. We kick it off, Essendon up against Wally up at the MCG before a massive day of footy. The bounce, the first crack, it's all happening here on Fox, and it's all happening at Box Hill City Oval. A great contest through the first half. Tigers by 11 points. What are we going to get in the second half? Stay with us. We've got the third quarter coming up after the break.
VFL Footy live on Fox Footy Saturday morning. It is Box Hill taking on Richmond, and the Tigers holding a surprise 11-point lead at halftime. Just a quick update before we get underway for the second half. So James Blank has a hamstring injury and will miss the remainder of the game for Box Hill. That follows on from a shoulder injury earlier in the season. Luckless start to 2026 for James Blank. Jess, take it away for the second half.
Thanks, Drew. Definitely unfortunate news for James Blank, playing his first game of the season as well. We know he's got a history of injury issues, so certainly unfortunate news for James Blank and for the Box Hill Hawks, who are going to be down a key player in this second half as they face an 11-point deficit at half-time as we get the third term underway here. Richmond 3 goals straight to end that last quarter. They surged forward, but well read by Sofronides, who sends it back the other way. Down the line, the fist came from Pollux. And before the ball was Connolly, but a great tackle on him to lock things up.
You can see Richmond's idea around the stoppages now. They're a lot more one-on-one, back shoulder, trying to keep the Box Hill players inside them, making it much harder for them to get those clearances.
Nan found a way through traffic. Kick across the ground. That was a good one. Leray can move it down to Dalton. Spears it into the pocket. It's well worked out by the Hawks. This is a promising start to the third term. McLaughlin can have a look at potentially his third opportunity at goal. He's had a behind, had a shot that was touched on its way through for a rush behind. This his toughest attempt of the morning so far, deep in the pocket. '28-year-old kicks 7 straight in their loss against Casey Demons in round 3. Hasn't quite found his radar so far this morning. That is another miss to his name. And he continues to provide a strong target up forward for the Hawks. I'd love for him to get going in the second half. If you've just joined us, no, James Blank for the remainder of this match is out with a hamstring injury, as Drew Jones reported a couple of moments ago. Lockie Street. Good kick down the line. You're seen in a bit of space. 5th year in Richmond's VFL program. Kicked a career-high 19 goals last year. Started as a train-on a few years ago and then earned his spot on the VFL list. Tigers move forward to Johnson. Playing his 4th game of the year. Inboard to El Nua. A long searching kick inside forward 50. He'll fly off hands. Scruffer at a ground level. Sofronides over the top, ensuring it won't come out.
Richmond just picking their way through the Box Hill defence there. Some good foot skills on show early in this third quarter.
You are Henry with the tap. Straight down to Houghton, who again is off target. So what are we looking for in the second half from Geordie and Todd? Who do we expect the Hawks to kind of come back? Because they really have been in control for most of this game. It's just Richmond have been really efficient going forward and made the most of their opportunities.
It does feel like Box Hill have been a little bit in second gear. They just need to really pick up their disposal efficiency and look to attack the game more. They're just sitting back a little bit too much at the moment.
Gifted a golden opportunity to Richmond here. Austin Johnson, the recipient of a 50-metre penalty, is going to put him within scoring range. Played 1 game for Frankston back in 2021 before crossing over to the Tigers. The 24-year-old has over 60 games experience at this level. His 4th game of the season. For the first goal of the third quarter. Can't quite get it to come back.
Yeah, just to back up what you're saying there, Goldie, with not that the stats mean everything, but there's some pretty convincing stats that Box Hill should be absolutely all over the Tigers at the moment. And, you know, 2 goals, if McLaughlin converts those 2 goals, again, we spoke about the as we see, a great defensive effort there from Ollie Houghton. The confidence that it gives you as you apply scoreboard pressure, not only does it kick your team into gear, but it puts doubt in the mind of the opposition. So I'd like to see them again get a little bit more reward for effort with how much ascendancy they have with some of the stats at the moment.
Lowther takes it out of the ruck, couldn't find a teammate. Dalton is there to clean it up for the Hawks. Greaves was lively in that first half. Down the line a little bit too much on it, gets out the back through the hands of Elnua, coming through Hill. Got plenty of pace to burn. And that ricochets off his leg. Is that going to be last disposal? Might have. I think it is going to be a free kick. Dangerous kick in board is Anderson. Can just waltz into an open goal.
Great forward pressure there. There's a little bit of biffo on the goal line here, but just that alertness as a small forward is absolutely crucial. Just sit back, sitting back on the kick there from Leo Connolly allows Caleb Anderson to come in and capitalise. That hurts.
It's a classic coach killer, isn't it? Goldie in defence, an errant kick. Turnover straight to a goal.
And when you are in control of the game and putting that scoreboard pressure on, the last thing you want to do is to give that little bit of impetus to the opposition to get into the game. As everyone is here watching attentively.
Very cute spectator.
Cody Anderson, his second goal of the afternoon. Takes his tally to 7 for the season, and a really important one to kick off the third quarter. Tigers from the restart. Collier jams it on the boot towards half forward. Cabe standing in the way, but he's turned it over. Tigers can surge forward again. Lands into the lap of Toner. Haven't seen a lot of him so far today, Sam Toner, in terms of making an impact on the scoreboard. Might go back here and back himself for this set shot.
Only the 3 disposals for 1 behind there so far.
Top score was 6 goals in their round 3 win against St Kilda. The next week, he kicked 0-4. Runs around on the arc and it swung back. Just doesn't quite have the journey in the end. Seeing that more and more in the modern game. Players wheeling around on the arc to give them a little bit more leverage. Didn't quite come off. Richmond by 7 points. Hawks looking to go coast to coast. Dalton involved again. Backs it up with another touch. Now the kick towards full forward. And McLaughlin finally sneaks one home for his first of the afternoon. Back-to-back goals to the Hawks to start this third term.
That's much more like it, how they controlled the game earlier on this match, was that run and receive, handball game, get the ball going forward rather than this backward chip around.
As a defender, that's the hot spot. That's where you hate the ball to go. You know, you don't always want to kick it to a contest, but at the very top of the square, you know it's going to spill either forwards or backwards, and Brodie McLaughlin was there just to mop it up. So it's great for him after kicking 1-2 so far. The Frosty Miller medal is very much still inside.
Absolutely, sitting in second place at the moment. 19 goals and fairly accurate too. Came into today 18 goals, 5 from his 5 games. Brodie McLaughlin, and gets his first of the afternoon after a couple of misses. So now things have tightened up considerably to start the third quarter. Richmond by 11 at half-time, but 2 unanswered goals now to the Hawks. Tigers winning out of the middle. Well read in defence. Horner flares the kick out wide. It's brought to ground. Nan spun, got the handball away. Couple of bites at it from McDonald. And they do work it out nicely, the Hawks, with a bit of run and dash. Julian. Now back to Dalton. Inside forward 50 they go. Elnua in front position. Couldn't hang on to the mark. Anderson searching for his third. This time hands it off to Perez. A long way from defence. And he slams it home. Box Hill have hit the lead. Well, they needed a rev up at halftime. They got that, and they've come out and turned things around considerably here in the third quarter.
What I've liked from Box Hill is we heard from Dave Mirror at quarter time, and he used the term get out, and he wanted them to open up that contest, stop leaving the ball, you know, in an opportunity where the Richmond players can come forward and create a turnover. Their handballs are now, as you mentioned, Todd, they're going to the advantage of the player, which is encouraging that run and carry. And that momentum carrying them forward into the forward line is really hard to defend, and it's predictable for their forwards as well.
And just like that, in the blink of an eye, it's the lead back in the hands of the Hawks. Nan to Greaves, over the top to Baldwin. Got himself out of trouble. Back to Greaves, another touch for him. Close to the line, it's kept alive by Schubert. Ball in board through the hands of UI Henry. Opens the door for the Tigers. Bursting through with Stewart. Kicked a lovely goal in that second quarter. Kick inside forward 50 is ill-directed, and Horner chops it off. Starting to get their running game going, the Hawks off half-back. Dalton is forced to hold things up. That kick down the line was a beauty. Bouncing ball inside forward 50, El Noor in front position. Tackled by Anderson, ball spills free. Hill at the bottom of the pack. Ball held to him. The umpire is lurking, lets them play for a little bit longer. Continue to wrestle for it. And eventually it is brought to a halt.
Almost pleading with him to call a ball up.
Yeah,
the players were.
Let's just reset and go again. Lukic and Ruck up against Lowther. Scrappy kick out of congestion. It's going to come back. Sofronides in position A. Oh no, skewed off the side of the boot. Straight to Milner. Tigers stream forward. Checks the kick to Toner. Handball in board to Sharkey. Seen a bit of it today. They work it inside forward 50. Milner with the fend off. Now it's back to Scott, who sends it towards the teeth of goal. Great mark, Yassine.
I like the balance that Richmond used to get the ball inside 50, then mark, handball receive, overlap. It was really, really balanced and really measured. And this is a great kick. It was obviously going for goal, and an even better mark by Yassine. Saw him lurking behind, took the ball at the highest point.
4 goals from his 3 games so far in 2026. Oh, that is just snuck through for a goal by a coat of paint.
I wonder if there's a magnet in that right goalpost there. We've seen a few shots at goal towards that side, but no, great reward for effort there. Again, this Richmond team are just finding a way against the flow of play. They've managed to scrap one back again.
That was great work right there by Yassine as well. He was the first player to really get out the back and lengthen to create that space, and then to be able to wheel around and take the mark. It was a great reward for his own effort.
22 years of age, 5th year in the VFL Tigers program. As I mentioned, he's had to work really hard for his opportunity. He started as a train on earned his spot back in 2022. To career high 19 goals last year. So really starting to make the most of his opportunities. That was a really important goal to Richmond. They've got the lead back. Lowther palms it down. Follows up with a tackle. Comes out to McKenzie. Over the head of Milner, making his debut today. Ball is close to the line, and it rolls out of play. So 3 debutants out there for Richmond today. Caleb Nankara, who's played a couple of games for Gold Coast. He's come out of the Suns Academy. James Milner and Kai Stewart as well, who's kicked a fabulous goal on debut in that second term. So no AFL listed players. 3 debutants there for the Tigers. They've got a 1-point advantage. Walks off half-back to a contest on the wing, off hands. Lowther can pump it back into attack. Deep forward 50 entry. Sofronides is wrapped up by a couple of Tigers. We're going to get a ball up.
Would you guys be surprised to know that Richmond are ranked lowest for disposals per goal? today it seems that they have completely flipped that script on its head. That can be a positive, regardless of the outcome. I think the Richmond team can take away from today.
I think they've got to be credited with just understanding their personnel and what's going to get the best out of them and really playing to their strengths. That's been a real on showing for the Richmond side.
And when the footy back, Pollux can send it back into attack. His first game of the season. And here's Collier. Played some good footy last year to really cement himself in this VFL program. Back out to Pollux. Collier. Now the long bomb. Big pack forms. And it's all Hawthorn on the last line of defence. Mraz. Done some good things today, Noah Mraz. Declace through his hands. Head over the footy. Wrapped up by Phillips. Familiar face, Jan Syracusa. Watching some VFL footy. Declace. Knocked away from McCabe. Handball's over his head, and it worked out too. Anderson rather with the fend off. Just lost the footy in amongst all of that. Toner. One way, then the other. Then on the left boot, directs the kick to half forward. Sofronides. Joined Box Hill this year from Collingwood. Breeze the target. Now Mark's going to be paid. Wants to move it quickly. Sends it to half forward. Glockland, was he infringed? No free kick. Tigers off half back Loftus. Long down the line, a one-on-one, and guess what? Sofronides again. A great kick into the corridor to match. A long bomb inside forward 50. It's just over the head of Schubert. He can't quite keep it alive. We're going to have a toss back in. Sam Sofronides is really lifted.
A couple of crucial contests there from him, just winning, intercepting and then winning that crucial one-on-one enabled him to switch the ball inside, and we've used the word slingshot at length, but that's exactly what that looked like with the ball going inside 50 then.
Playing just his 7th VFL game, his 3rd this season. A couple of games for Collingwood a couple of seasons ago before joining Box Hill. Another one to watch out for, potentially for mid-season draft calculations. Drew Jones is all over that. Eli Henry over the top. Anderson, a little dribbler from the pocket. How on earth has he kicked that? Unbelievable for his 3rd goal.
We didn't think we could beat the one in the first half, but he just said, hold my drink and have a little bit of this.
He was looking lively. I love the energy that he's brought this quarter. And how good's that?
Just something out of absolutely nothing.
2 goals to his name today.
Goes immediately to the crowd too. That's the best part of it. Got to get around him after that. What a goal from Cody Anderson for his 3rd. Tightest of angles from the pocket. As is customary, he goes to the bench and has a rest.
He's earned it.
The celebrating tied him out.
That goal right there was from the top shelf. Gone goal for goal in the last 10 minutes or so of this contest. We've seen some great goals this afternoon. McLaughlin from half forward, a high up and under. Tough one to mark. El Nua comes out with a double fister. Great pressure apply from McLaughlin, but Tigers went out. Johnson doing the hard stuff in defence. Now a hurry kick out of congestion. Bouncing ball on the wing. He's going to get there first. It'll be Julian for the Hawks. Now a chance for Johnson. Stewart in his debut. Hands it off to Scott, who's caught. Umpire's having a good look, and he's going to be penalised for holding the ball. Tries to switch it in board. It's a dangerous kick. Perez. Fancy footwork to get himself out of trouble. And now they can set up via defensive 50. McDonald under a bit of pressure, knocked away from Perez. Well done to Scott. Oh. Now the Tigers can pounce. Here's your scene. You're not going to catch him from here. He has a couple of bounces and waltzes into an open goal. He's got two. And the Tigers are back in front. What a game that's unfolding here at Box Hill City Oval.
I love the work from the small forwards of Richmond there. Even on the switch play, Box Hill were trying to possess the ball out of their defensive half, but that energy and that alertness, that willingness to come forward, that willingness to be prepared to apply any sort of pressure possible allowed Yassine out the back. And I don't think anyone was going to catch him once he turned the jets on.
But once again, every single time Box Hill look to go backwards, they're just putting their teammates under pressure, turning the ball over and giving Richmond that little bit of hope.
Yep.
The last 4 goals of this third quarter have resulted in lead changes. It's been a gallant effort so far from the Tigers with no AFL listed players out there today. They're basically playing as a standalone team. As Hill is wrapped up in the middle. UI Henry up against Lockwood. Scrappy kick forward out of congestion. And it's going to be another one. Kai Stewart again is making a massive impact in his league debut. He's got 2. Oh, I like the cut of his jib.
He's got a left boot on him, that is for sure. What a snap. And that was a, what, 30, 40 metres out. That ability to just snap it over his shoulder. And you could hear his teammates just get up for him here. He's read it well. He's remained alive at the front of the contest. That Box Hill just overcommitted 2 people to that contest there, which allowed Kai Stewart just to sit out the front and convert 2 on debut.
It's a great finish.
Didn't hesitate at all, which is what you love to see from a young fella.
Absolutely.
18 years old from the Oakley Chargers. Certainly got plenty of tricks up his sleeve at the moment. A couple of goals from the top shelf, mind you. Got good versatility as well, can play out forward, but certainly has attributes to play in other areas of the ground. One to watch. Leray pumps it forward for the Hawks. To full forward, El Nua is there. Steady hand in defence to Connolly. Not out of danger yet, though, the Tigers. Now comes Phillips. Hands it off, a little fumble from McKenzie. Opens the door now for the Hawks. Hill was caught, managed to get the hand pass away. High kick into the pocket. Nankaro with the fist. Johnson gets a handball away. Here's Loftus. The exit kick, though, is not a good one. Free kick to the Hawks, and McCabe can send them back inside forward 50. I know he's going to hand it off to his teammate. In fact, it's going to be Bailey McDonald. Gives it everything and pumps it long. Sent through for a behind. Connolly with a kick in duties. Kicks to a contest. A couple of Tigers go to ground. And it's going to be a mark. Paid to Moraz. And another contested grab to his name today. Hawks surge forward. Kick into the pocket. Goes out of play. Do you like the look of Moraz, Goldie?
Yeah, definitely. He looks very controlled overhead, makes some good decisions. Even that forward handball was just the right decision at the right time. So a really good decision maker when he got ball in hand.
put him front position. Oh, only as far as Julian from the pocket. What game of footy are we witnessing right now? We have seen some ridiculous finishing, and you can add that one to the list from Griff Julian. Even he's laughing about it.
Wow. Put that one on the highlight reel. That one was great. We've seen left foot from the pockets, right foot from the pockets. You can't underestimate how difficult that is when the ball's spinning away from goal to be able to poke that one through. Well worthy of the celebration that it got. But we spoke about how we got to that point with the Mraz overlap handball to send it inside, deep inside forward 50. As a defence, that's a really dangerous spot to be at. To keep the ball alive and then to convert from an ungodly angle, it's pretty impressive.
Unreal. 21 years old, playing his third VFL game. He's come all the way from West Perth. He represented WA as a bottom major in the under-18 national championships. Did Griff Julian. How about that for a finish? Thought Kai Stewart's left boot from that pocket was up to standard. How about Julian's right foot? El Nua takes intercept, grab and defence. To Connolly on now. He's got himself in trouble as Anderson was in pursuit. Manages to get a kick away. Off hands, Collier caught. So what are we going to see next? Scores are level as we head towards three-quarter time. It's been a fascinating contest. Hawks by a point at quarter time. Tigers by 11 at half time. We've seen 4 lead changes already in this second quarter. Nan fires out a hand pass. Receive it back, then goes over the top to Greaves. Back to Nan. Now the long searching kick. Just didn't quite work out for Declace, and we'll have it thrown in.
I think the ability just to create that chaos ball inside 50 just to get a stoppage is where they look their best passage of getting a goal is.
Ui Henry was caught and tackled by Lockwood. Last line of defence, Connolly trying to relieve some of the pressure, but Leray is there. Send it back into a dangerous position. Oh, hands to it, no mark in the end. Coming through, Anderson just trying to burst his way through, but he gets caught. He's kicked 3 today.
And the budgies on show.
He's got the confidence. Up to the task, though, was Sharkey. Has been impressive today for the Tigers. That kick just go through the hands of Stewart. A couple of goals for him. Leray hands it off. Farah, Baldwin involved. Back to Leray. Jams it on the boot. Right to full forward. It's through for a behind. Long left before three-quarter time. No AFL listed players for the Tigers today. James Blank was done at half-time with a hamstring injury. Really unfortunate news, and he's come back from a shoulder injury. He's also had a knee injury in the past as well, so not a great return for him. Stewart, the young 18-year-old on debut. Trying just to play a little bit of possession footy here, the Tigers. Sharkey, what are his numbers today? Geordie?
Sharkey, he has 21 disposals, 11 kicks, 10 handballs.
Fortunately turned it over on this occasion. Try to give him a bit of a pump up.
Number 3 disposal getter on the ground.
There's another youngster, just 19 years of age. A great year for the Chargers last year, did Aaron Sharkey. Oh, just a spilt mark there. Declace, what can he do in the pocket? Tries to put on a bit of speed. Centre and kick, didn't quite have the carry. Tigers have their numbers, but good forward pressure from the Hawks, and it's going to be holding the ball. A late opportunity for Box Hill to extend their lead in the shadows of three-quarter time. Alex Lukic. Oh, it's going to be reversed. So some high contact, ill discipline shown by the Hawks. That is a chance gone begging.
At arguably the scoring end today.
Good pressure on the mark. The kick was touched off the boot. It'll end to the lap of Leray, who can hand it off to Horner. Bianco. Nan will link up, and Anderson in the pocket. Can shoot for potentially goal number 4.
Snap or drop punt. Looks like he's setting up for a snap.
Well, we've seen some special things this afternoon from this pocket. Oh, that is not what Anderson would have liked. It might work out. It does stay alive, but Schubert couldn't hang on. It's close to the line. We'll have it thrown back in. Couldn't quite continue the trend, Cody Anderson, from that pocket.
He does his best work in this pocket. That's why he wanted to put it over there.
That's right.
Would have liked to have seen him take his full 30 there. He seemed to, you know, not go through his full routine. Perhaps he's a type of player who just would prefer to get on with it and kick it, but late in the quarter, perhaps maybe
I wonder if the lateness in the quarter is what made him rush it. Knowing there's 30 minutes into the quarter, he wanted to snap it. Was he worried the siren was going to go, so rushed himself a little bit too much?
Perhaps.
3 goals today for Cody Anderson. He's been involved in a few others as well. It's a time for a late one. Johnson just wants to get it out of there. You've seen 2 goals to him in this 3rd quarter. So whistle on play. Is the advantage going to be paid? No, it's going to come back. Seen 8 goals this quarter to these 2 sides. Have really opened things up a little bit. It's going to be a longish quarter. 5 goals to 3 the way of the Hawks. Contest on the wing. Lockwood involved, couldn't hang on. Nan scraps a kick to half forward. Tigers defence well set. Aggressive kick into the corridor.
Quick hands.
Gonna get out of trouble, Nankaro. Is it a time for a late one of the Tigers? Oh, almost a chance to take a mark. It's slapped forward by Baldwin. The siren sounds to mark 3/4 time. This is turning into an absorbing contest at Box Hill City Oval as we turn from home. It is the Hawks leading the Tigers by a point at 3/4 time. 8-8-56 plays 8-7-55. Do not go anywhere because we are going to have a cracking final quarter to finish off this VFL contest here this morning. Final quarter coming up after the break. game of twists and turns, momentum shifts, and some goals from the very top of the shelf this afternoon at Box Hill City Oval. What a contest that is unfolding here today as the Box Hill Hawks look to make it 4 in a row. Richmond trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They have 0 AFL listed players out there today, but plenty of youngsters making their impact today. At three-quarter time, it is Hawthorn Box Hill by a point, 88-56 to 87-55, and two of the brains trust for the Hawks. Daniel Geary and Syracusa, the head of development, with Brett Ratton, the AFL head of coaching, performance and development, just having a long chat at three-quarter time. Goldie, what do you reckon they're talking about?
They seem to be not happy with just the ball movement, the options they're taking. I think that at times the Box Hill players are just taking the wrong option at the wrong time, and which is fueling the Richmond ball movement and attacking that last line of the Box Hill defence. So I think they're trying to fix up that.
Let's take a look at some of the work of Sam Sofronides in defence for the Hawks, the 26-year-old, playing his third game of the VFL season, Geordie, and he did he's been playing well all morning, but in that third quarter in particular, just took a couple of really important intercept grabs.
Yeah, in that quarter, I thought that he was attacking the game a little bit more. Maybe he tinkered with his positioning we saw in the first half. There was a few times the ball might have gone over his head and he was scrambling back to goal. So, you know, that's the worst position to be in as a defender. You want the ball in front of you. So he tightened that up and ended up with, he's got 11 disposals, 4 marks so far, and he was pivotal in that quarter for the Hawks.
Huge final quarter to come. Can the Tigers get over the line here with 0 AFL listed players? Let's head down to the boundary line. Drew Jones is with their coach, Jack Madgen.
Thank you, Jess. Jack, so much spirit from the group so far. What's the message at three-quarter time?
Yeah, I mean, we harp on it every week is like our Richmond man behaviours. So, been really strong so far. Like, I'm so proud of like some of the younger guys. First game is like Kai Stewart and James Milner. Like, Kai's kicked 2, I think, really solid down there, and James Milner's bringing everything to ground, so I'm loving seeing that. You spoke about Kai, that he's shown his quality with ball in hand. That left foot's pretty lethal, but also just young player on debut, 18-year-old, being able to finish and make the most of opportunities has been impressive. Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. And so Alex Davey, our sort of list manager, VFL, coached him at Oakley as well, so we knew that coming in. I'm super proud he's been able to bring his strengths. And so a lot of our boys out here today have brought their strengths. They're up for the challenge, and it's going to be a bloody good last quarter, I reckon. Good luck, Coach. Cheers, thank you.
Love that. They're up for the challenge. It's going to be a bloody good last quarter. I think we can all agree with that, Geordie and Goldie. Cannot wait to see what unfolds in the next half an hour or so. The Hawks by point at quarter time. Tigers by 11 at half time. We saw 4 lead changes in that third quarter. Hawks now holding on to a 1-point lead at three-quarter time. And what have we got left here? Hope you're enjoying the action. Super Saturday on Fox. The final quarter is underway. And we're going to have another ball up. What are the two of you looking for in this last quarter?
Yeah, I think I'm just looking for whichever side can take care of the footy a bit more. It's those mid-arc turnovers that are really hurting both sides and fueling a lot of the goals and a lot of the opportunities. So whichever side settles and doesn't turn the ball over as much is going to give themselves the best shot.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And we've seen, as you mentioned, Jess, the lead changes have really, created this swing in momentum. So not only is it the ability to control the football, but to thwart the momentum of the opposition team and capitalise when you've got it.
A scrappy kick out of defence has landed into the lap of Horner. Out wide to Nan with some space on the wing. To Dalton. Kick to goal in that first quarter. Sends it to half forward. El Nua, well read in defence. Club vice-captain, has over 70 games of VFL experience. To a contest on the wing. Oh, might have hurt himself, but he did all the great work. Lowther, fantastic contested grab, hands it off to Sharkey. Driving kick inside forward 50, he gets out the back, and here is Toner's moment. His first goal of this contest and the first of the final term, which hands the lead back into Richmond's hands.
Loved that penetrating kick here. Inside forward 50. Lowther just gets up, gives the handball receive off. And Sharkey sends it in with authority. And it was so well read by the small forwards. Ollie Houghton or Toner could have been in a position to jump on that footy then. I was a bit nervous for Toner. I thought he was going to kick the leather off it and perhaps just miss it. You know what happens when you get within 3 metres. Stranger things have happened, but it's good to see him get on the board today. He was a bit frustrated with some goals that he missed earlier on in the game. So great start for the Tigers.
Second year on their VFL list. He's just kicked his 14th goal in his 7th game this season. Could potentially be a mid-season draft prospect. Scott from the stoppage. There's a high kick in the Phillips direction. Oh, well done, Sharky. Handball over the top, though, just missed the target. Bianco shares it with Farah. He's turned it over. Tigers looking to press again. Houghton can send it back inside forward 50. Will wind up and pump it long. Coming across from the side, man, just couldn't quite hang on to the mark. There's a free kick, though. The Tigers weigh in amongst all of that to Toner. They had their numbers in that contest, and now they've coughed it up. Let's take another look. Nice rise from Nan. Just some high contact afterwards.
Looks like Toner went to pass it off then. It's back in his hands, though.
He's enjoying a rapid rise up the ranks in the last couple of years or so for his 2nd goal in as many minutes. Tigers with a strong start in this final term.
Bang, bang, Sam Toner. That's all it takes for a key forward. You don't have to have, you don't have to fill the stat sheet with disposals. At the end of the day, goals and points win games, and Toner, I think he was lurking all game, and now he's got 2 to his name to start off this 4th quarter.
Such a hard role to play in a footy team, that small forward, and he's playing it really well, and he's taking his opportunities, and probably unlucky not to get a 50-metre penalty there by the looks of that.
He's got the battle scars as well on the chin, I reckon, from that high infringement there on Bianco. From Bianco, I should say.
Back-to-back goals to Sam Toner and the Tigers to start this final quarter. The margin hasn't grown beyond 12 points, rather. All match, it's the highest it has been. Back out to that 11-point lead that the Tigers had at half-time. Greaves, he's caught by Stewart. That's going to be holding the ball. This young kid is putting together some kind of highlight reel on his league debut, and there's a bit of afters going on, and it's going to be 50 as well. They're still going at it on the boundary line. In fact, it won't be. It is 50. And it's going to be Kai Stewart, who's going to be put to within scoring range and potentially kick his 3rd goal in his league debut. Or he's only going to go about 50 metres. It might be beyond him. We'll see what he does. He'll pass it off and send it to a dangerous position. It's off hands. George laying the tackle. A couple of hawks over the top ensures that ball is going nowhere.
Start of this quarter is just playing right into Richmond's hands. It's empowering them to keep going harder and harder, and you can see the frustration in Box Hill starting to come out.
Uri Henry with a tap. High kick out of the danger zone. It's going to come back again. Sean Lai playing his first VFL game this season. Played 6 games last year. Another one of these VFL-listed Tigers searching for more opportunities. He'll bomb it forward right to the line. It goes over for a minor. Tigers doing all the attacking so far.
Gosh, you almost had the distance there.
So it's an even 2-goal lead. Donald swings it across one side of the ground to the other. Hawks can try and chain it out of defence. We've seen glimpses of this throughout the afternoon. That looks pretty dangerous. Nan, Greaves. They work it out. Schubert to half forward. A couple of tools the target, but goes to ground level where the Tigers are well set up. And that's going to be a throw. And a free kick to the Hawks. It's going against Ghana. Let's take another look. I think it was there. Yeah, can't get away with that one. And umpire was in the best position as well to make that call.
It's a bit of an unforced error there by Ghana. I think they need their experienced players just to do a little bit better than that.
Matt Hill, he's been in good goal-kicking form, Matt Hill. He's kicked 9 goals in his last 4 games in the VFL. Hasn't had a look at them so far this morning for the Cat B rookie. And his side really needs this. And it fades late.
Let's see if the Hawks can lock it in here. They've done well previously throughout the game once the ball has been in their forward 50 to lock it in. But we know once it breaks that 70 or 80 metre bubble, Richmond enter their forward 50 with pace.
Connolly to Scott from the kick in. Moves back to the last line of defence. Sharkey. Now goes straight down the corridor. El Nua. Out to Nankaro. In his club debut today, the former Suns Academy prospect. Loftus on the wing. Drives it down the line. It goes over the head of Yassine and out of play. And it'll be a last touch free kick to the Hawks. Cameron Nan, pick number 20 in last year's draft. Good kick in board. Farah. Laredo Perez is running into trouble. Gets it back to Laredo. Now he's got some space to send it inside forward 50. And the kick is ill-directed straight to Josh Pollux.
Missed opportunity. Would love that to sit in the lap of Jack Dalton there and they'd have another crack at goal.
Milner, another in his league debut. Oh, that hand pass didn't quite hit the target, but Cantwell was good enough to run onto it and shows a bit of speed as well. Drives it inside forward 50. Out the back it goes. Yassine keeps it alive, but it does go to Baldwin, who disguised that pretty well. $14 AFL listed players for Box Hill today. Unfortunately, James Blank was out at half-time with a hamstring injury. And they're down a key player in the second half, the Hawks. Shallow throw-in. Uriah Henry was caught dispossessed. It's close to the boundary line. It's kept in from McLaughlin, although there is a whistle on play. Free kick advantage is paid as Dalton runs away for the Hawks. Up to half forward. It's another good mark to Pollux, 23-year-old. Shown a bit today. And he played the 5 games last year in the VFL. Playing his first game of the season today. El Nua, centre-half back. Sinks his boot into it, kicks it to a contest. Oh, the fly from behind. Couldn't quite come down with it, was Ghana. And we're going to get a boundary throw-in. Or are we?
Should be a lasso free kick, came off a handball.
Yep. All over it, Geordie.
There we go.
Joel Garner. One of their co-vice captains into the pocket, but it's a good mark by Nan. Immediately wants to switch play. Julian kicked a ripping goal. There's a couple of whistles going on. Just going to reset things and we'll go again. Tigers with the only 2 goals of this final quarter. Hawks by a point at 3/4 time. Dangerous kick across the face of goal. Garner with the intercept grab. He looked inboard and he's called to play on. Now he'll pass it off and improve the angle to McKenzie, who runs himself into trouble. He shoots towards goal and it goes through 4 behind. I think the Hawks can breathe a sigh of relief there.
Just a comedy of errors there. You could see what they were trying to do by switching. They switched it in the first place and then held up by the umpire there. And when you switch it, you want to put some speed on the ball. So they've obviously gone exploring the other side, but it just wasn't the time to do it. The numbers had already worked over to the skinny side. Let's just send it down the line. So definitely got away with one there.
Sofronides squeezes a kick inboard. Good pick up from Julian. Now Lukic is off and running. Long kick inside forward 50. Schubert the target, knocked away from him. Declace with the tackle to lock things up, and they'll get a forward 50 stoppage to work with here, the Hawks. Scrappy kick forward. That ball's locked up. So Lukic up against Lowther and Ruck. Lukic in front position. Tigers went out. Garner outside of the boot. And whistle on play for a block out. It'll be Hawks free kick.
There's no eyes looking where the ball was then. It's just caught him out. Don't think he intended to block him out, but he just didn't have any eyes on the footy.
Will McCabe searching for options. Let's take another look on replay. Free kick was there.
Just trying to do his job, lock onto his opponent.
I think he thought he was going to be the front and centre player there, not the contest.
That's it.
From 50 out. Hawk gives it absolutely everything. Goes through post high, just not quite with the accuracy.
Again, fading right. That right point post has seen a lot of action today.
Things tightening up here at Box Hill City Oval. It's undermanned Tigers outfit. They've been gallant all afternoon. Can they hang on? Phillips is caught. Ball spills free. Stewart. A debut to remember so far. Spears it up forward. What a kick. Lace out onto the chest of Cantwell.
Some leadership from players around him there. His eyes were darting. He wanted to give that one off. State of play and where they're at in the game right now. They've got an 11-point lead. Probably a good idea to take your 30 and at least disguise an opportunity at goal, even if you might be a little bit out of your range.
20 years of age in his 10th VFL game. Second year in the Tigers program. Time to back yourself. And he did, but he's inaccurate.
Take back what I said about being out of range.
His teammates must have known.
Exactly.
Larray with the kick in to the outer side, off hands. Fighting for it, Mraz. It's brought to ground. Umpire's going to ping him for holding the ball.
Great pressure there from the Tigers. Again, that's been a feature of their game today. Just that ability to scrap and do anything possible to win the ball back.
Loftus, a member of the VAFA Premier Division Team of the Year last year, won the Uni Blacks Best and Fairest. Made his debut for the Hawks last week. Long kick into the pocket. It's knocked away from Lowther, and we'll have a toss back in. Coming up next on Super Saturday, we're taking you to Adelaide Oval. Kawana taking on North Melbourne. Ahead of another massive day of footy. Plenty left to play out in this VFL contest. Hurry kick out of defence from Greaves. To Anderson. 3 goals from him today. And the juggling effort was nice. McLaughlin's a long way from home. Drives it down the line of a one-on-one. Al Newer did all that perfectly.
His 9th mark for the game.
It's been a steady, cool, calm and collected defender this afternoon. Here go the Tigers. Up forward, Toner. Didn't quite get the connection he was after. It's out of bounds on the full, but he has kicked the only 2 goals of this final quarter, Sam Toner. Tigers came out and went bang, bang.
not sure that slow approach from Brodie McLaughlin on the wing there is what the Hawks want to do. They're 12 points down. We've seen them try and do the overlap handball game, and that's just invited Richmond's pressure. They're going for the long kicks now, and it's. I think they need to find a balance of both. When they've looked really dominant in this game, it's when they've been able to hit the short and the long kicks and speed the game up, play with some real tempo. So the state of urgency for the Box Hill Hawks at the moment. Would love to see them go forward with a little bit more pace.
Richmond have done a really good job of just taking all the pace out of this game, this quarter. They've controlled it completely, and it's been a very professional performance by a relatively inexperienced side.
Yeah.
Lai keeps it alive to Loftus. He can't hit a target up forward. Sherbet out wide. Long down the line. Great work in the contest from Connolly. And then hands it off to Johnson. Pumps it up forward. Hawks have plenty of numbers. Good pressure applied from Milner, the debutant. And it's going to be thrown back in.
The switch play was good. The ball just carried a little bit too far wide, and Richmond have been so organised. They've been, the way that they've set up so quickly, as you said, Todd, the professionalism of this group is absolutely on show. They're completely in cohesion. They're in a really good position to take home the 4 points.
Margin is at 12 points, which is the greatest it has been all morning. It's been a tight, contested game from the opening bounce. These two sides have traded blows, and the Tigers have a free kick. Joel Garner.
I don't think Joel Garner had a ruck free kick shot on goal in his bingo card for himself today.
Yeah. Seen a little bit of everything today. Kicked a goal in the first quarter, the 26-year-old. Joined the Tigers from Footscray, works full-time as their Indigenous Play Development Manager. This is a big kick in the context of the game for Garner, and he slotted it! Tigers with 3 unanswered goals in this final quarter.
Smooth mover, just looks so composed going back and putting that through, particularly after an uncharacteristic error earlier on in the quarter, which put Box Hill in front of goals. He was able to, you know, earn it back and, you know, actually convert and make the most of that opportunity there.
Great to see Luke Bruce watching on. Barking instructions from the bench. 18 points is the Tigers' lead. I don't think we expected this coming into this game. No AFL listed players out there for Richmond this afternoon. Hawks by a point at 3/4 time. The Tigers have kicked 3 unanswered goals here in the last, and they're hungry for more. Collier up towards half forward. Well read in the air from Baldwin. Centres the kick. Bianco. Can they get some run and dash going? McDonald had to go backwards to go forwards. Perez with some space to roam and pump it long for the Hawks. Can they get a marker forward? It's knocked out of play.
Hopefully with time becoming a factor now, it might just push this Box Hill side into using the ball more, getting those handball receives going, which is when they've looked their most dangerous anyway.
It's only Box Hill's 5th inside 50 for the quarter. They were absolutely dominating the inside 50s. They were up by 10 at some point during the game, and now they only lead the inside 50 differential by 1. So really professional, to use that word again, borrow that one from you, Goldie. But from the Richmond Football Club, holding on to a lead at 3/4 time, or actually not even having the lead, being 1 point down, and being able to put the foot down and even up that inside 50 ledger.
Declan's trying to find his way through. Couldn't do so, then turns tackler on Lockwood. I'd love a goal here, the Hawks. There's still plenty of time left on the clock. We've seen so many momentum shifts already in this contest. Henry palms it down. Ooh. Here's a chance for Dalton. He capitalizes. It's game on. Just what the doctor ordered for Box Hill.
How's his movement through the stoppage? Started out the back of it. Just kept alive, just wanted to follow the footy. And it fell into his lap. That's what happens when you attack a contest. Motion creates motion. And he ended up with the ball in his hands and put it through for 6.
Box Hill, Richmond players are a bit aggrieved about a kicking in danger there, so they probably got a little bit lucky there, Box Hill.
The goal counts for this youngster, the 19-year-old draftee. Member of the Coates Talent League Team of the Year last year. Sandringham's Best and Fairest winner, has got some AFL experience already under his belt so far this year. 2 goals, his return today. Back in the middle we go. Hawks win an important clearance. Sofronides sends it to half forward. Oh, big contest. A number of players go to ground. Hawks continue to move it through. Declace, the step around the corner is perfection. 2 in a row. And we said at 3/4 time, we didn't know what was going to happen in this final quarter. Tigers with the first 3, the Hawks have hit back with the next 2, and it's a 1-goal game.
It's amazing what happens when you move the ball a bit more direct with a bit more speed. Just things start to happen, and finally Box Hill get a bit of speed on the play.
Alnua just over-committed there, got caught halfway between, which allowed Declace to pop out the back and snap and finish it off.
Timely goal from Kai Declace, a member of the VFL's Team of the Year last year, averaged 18 disposals and kicked 19 goals off the wing. Back in the middle we go, Tigers with the clearance, they work it forward. We're going to get a ball up. A lot of us are wanting to know how long is left on the clock. This one absolutely going down to the wire. Henry up against Lowther and Ruck. Greaves gets a handball away. Sofronides, a hurried kick out of congestion, whistle and play. It's going to be a free kick for a hold. Anderson pokes the kick out wide. They can set up from half-back, the Hawks, but they are dangerous when they move it quickly. Now they look to generate some run. Long searching kick up forward's a good one. Now it's going to open up. Here's a chance. Farah sends it up forward. McLaughlin the target. Alnua there with him. Brings it to ground level and then finds a teammate in Johnson by hand, who can bang it out of the danger zone to the wing. Big ball to be won here. Stewart's involved for the Tigers. In his league debut, he keeps it alive and he takes off. He has a bounce up against the boundary line. He kicks it to a centering position at the top of the square. Ryan Campbell to have a shot from point blank range, but put that down to the young 18-year-old debutant Kai Stewart.
And he's sucking in the big ones there, bottom right of screen, and he deserves to as well. Great, clearing kick that just allowed Kai Stewart, a little shin there allowed him to keep the ball and knock it to his advantage, backing in his leg speed, and the polish, the left foot kick to set up Cantwell.
And he's headed to the bench for arrest. He's kicked 2 goals and potentially has set up the match winner here as Cantwell bangs it home. Back out to a 2-goal margin.
Incredible stuff from Stewart on debut. 13 disposals and 2 goals, 4 inside 50s to his name, and, you know, kicked an absolute stellar goal from that pocket. I dare say if he was a Box Hill player, they'd be making a case to name that pocket after him because he has absolutely dominated it today.
He's done some spectacular things. Deep into this final quarter. Box Hill need to create something special here. This is a massive clearance to win. Lockwood up against UR Henry. We're going to have a secondary ball up.
As we know, it doesn't take a lot to pack on 2 goals in this game. We saw Toner do it earlier on in this quarter, so Box Hill very much still within range.
Bianco scraps a kick forward for the Hawks. Can they get a mark? Or a shot? Deck Lace is caught. It's Hill, rather. He gets out of a jam on the left boot. Has got the distance. No, it's touched on the line. Unbelievable effort in defence from Pollux in his first VFL game of the year. Should I say it could be a handy point?
You'd be absolutely right.
'82 plays 71. 28 minutes gone. Hawks from the wing. Into the middle. Oh, dropped mark in the end. Collier couldn't hang on. He's wrapped up by a couple of Hawks. Let's take a look at this goal-saving effort on the line. Oh,
full stretch.
Look for Box Hill to really get on the move here at these stoppages, just try and create something.
Sofronides is ahead of the ball right now. Another aerial target for them to use.
Greaves, he's been one of their best today, and he's kept them alive in the final quarter.
The man who has done absolutely everything today. 31 disposals, 1 goal, 7 clearances, 7 inside 50s. He deserves that one.
You called it, Goldie. You said watch for them on the move at this stoppage. That's exactly what they did.
And you can just start to see one Box Hill player is just starting to pop out at the front of the stoppage every single time just to try and will them forward. So you're going to look to see that now. They're definitely going to get on the move, and they definitely have someone popping out forward just to even a scrub kick forward might fall in their hands.
I dare say that's what Greaves and his ruckman there in UR Henry were discussing there. You could see him gesturing to hit it forward.
Picked 12 in last year's draft. He was runner-up in the Lark Medal. Oliver Greaves, he's an Eastern Rangers premiership player, member of the team of the year. That was a big goal. Here goes Hill. Almost handballs to himself. Then had to get a handball away as he was tackled. Johnson's caught. And it's going to be rewarded. This is a free kick to the Hawks, and they could potentially hit the lead. Jack Dalton's already got 2. Could he be the match winner for the Hawks?
You called it with a handy point before, so you could have been more bang on.
It almost never works out, Goldie, when you say that something could be a handy point. This has been an unreal game of VFL footy. The Tigers kicked the first 3 goals of this final quarter. To hit the lead, Jack Dalton's got it! Unbelievable finish. He's kicked 3. The Hawks have come from nowhere. Let's take another look at this on replay. Hill just did everything he could to keep it alive. And Jack Dalton rewarded for holding the ball. And he has made the most of his massive opportunity.
You're spot on, Goldie. That's exactly where where the ball went in that centre clearance. Just knocked it forward, allowed the small mids to just run on it. And Hill just willed the ball forward, whatever he needed to do, whether that was handballing to himself at one point, allowed Jack Dalton to apply the pressure and kick the goal.
And now with the dominant ruckman, they've got to look to try and shut this game down, shut these stoppages down, nothing outside. And with UR Henry dominating the house like he has, they should be able to do that.
Here we go. Is there time left for a miracle? Oh, the Hawks win it at the death! An incredible game of VFL footy that we have seen this morning. What a fight between these two sides. Box Hill win an absolute thriller by a point. Take nothing away from the Tigers. They had 0 AFL listed players here this morning. They threw absolutely everything at the Hawks, who came from the clouds and kicked the last 4 of the last 5 goals of the game to win an absolute thrilling contest here at Box Hill City Oval. Unreal. 12-11-83 to Richmond, 12-10-82. The Hawks win a classic, but the Tigers, what a spirited effort. Injury has decimated this footy club, both on their AFL list, their VFL list. They led by 18 points as we entered time 1 of that final quarter. Just couldn't quite stop the run in the end from the Hawks. Jack Dalton, the match winner, with his 3rd.
Absolutely, Jack Dalton chucked that on the highlight reel. Just to touch on Richmond, Jack Madgen talked about it for a quarter time, and he was pumping up Stewart, and the magic that he was able to produce throughout the game and in that last quarter in particular was unbelievable.
A match-winning performance from the young 19-year-old Jack Dalton. 3 goals to his name. He's downstairs with Drew Jones.
Thank you, Jess. Jack, well done, mate. Talk us through it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, like, big shout out to the boys. They were massive all day, and like the goal kicking comes from, you know, working with the forwards coach Adrian Hickmott and Marbiel Chol a fair bit. So those 2 have been great for me. Yeah, late in the quarter we had hope and belief and confidence in our ability and structures. So we just went back to what we knew, and yeah, came off nicely.
You get rewarded for the tackle. You go back. You know, you back your routine, knowing that the game's on the line.
Yep, correct. As I said, Marbiel Chol and Adrian Hickmott, massive shout out to them. They've been helping me tirelessly for my goal kicking, and Jason Johannesson after training. But yeah, I mean, super special to do it with such a good side of boys.
4 of the last 5. It was a tight game all day. How much belief do you have in those late moments to come up clutch?
Yeah, we've had a few close ones. And yeah, we've got belief in our system. We know Sam Mitchell and Dave Mirror work real closely together, and they put great structures together for us to win games like this, and we're super grateful to be in the position we are. And yeah, it's just amazing to play with such a good group of people.
A word on the Tigers today, absolutely decimated by injury. I think they had 7 changes to their VFL team. They ran you real close.
Yeah, correct. Big props to them. Their toughness around the footy was amazing. Their contest work and even their uncontested mark work was amazing. So big props to them. And obviously they're struggling with injury, but they come out here and fight really hard. So massive props to them.
Well done, mate. Match winner. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it,
man.
Thank you.
Been raining all week in Adelaide, but the rain has finally stopped at Adelaide Oval. The Crows are looking for 3 in a row, and North are looking for their first win at Adelaide Oval in 13 attempts. Hello and welcome to Super Saturday Live on Fox, brought to you by Toyota Tundra. Ready for everything as I bring in Mark Rasciuto, Kenny Hinkley, and straight off the top, Alistair Clarkson. Welcome, Clarko.
How you going? Hey, Roo. Hey, Kenny.
How do we flip the script, Clarko? 0-13 at this venue. How do you flip it today?
Yeah, well, the Hoodoo's got a break at some point in time. Hasn't been a happy hunting ground, but not too many grounds have been happy hunting grounds for the Kangas. And we're trying to do our best to rectify that. And we're showing some good signs. We're yet to get there, but we've been a lot better. You know, we had a really good game against Sydney last week. You know, they're top of the table for a reason, as we saw again last night. You know, they're a hard team to keep down for the whole 4 quarters, and we couldn't quite get there last week, but we did a lot right against them, so it gives us a lot of belief that we're on the right track.
We made some big improvement in a lot of areas. The contested possession and clearance area is one that really stands out, and Adelaide have been poor in that area. That's a great opportunity to get the ball in your forward half again today.
Yeah, we're hoping so, Roo, but having said that, you know, Adelaide, that was a real strength of their side last year, so we know their capability in that space, and I'm not really certain for the reasons why they haven't been quite as good in that space this year, but we're hopeful they can be really, really strong in that part of the game this week.
And Clark, are we surprised by the late change with the change that Adelaide brought in with Nankervis instead of another tool?
Yeah, we knew that maybe it's a little bit to do with the conditions. You know, it's not really certain if it's going to be wet or dry today in terms of the conditions. You know, just when you think the sun's coming out, a rain comes 5 minutes later. So maybe they've made a call on that basis, but we just got to play the 23 that we're against and see how we go. But you know, they've got to, if they can move the ball quickly, they're a dangerous side. So we've got to try and negate their run and flow with the footy, and particularly on this oval.
And you've got a young Finn O'Sullivan who's really starting to grow before our eyes. Does he get a role today? Does he potentially get to a Rankin-style player?
Yeah, well, all the roles that he have had, it's not really that they're tagging. It's just like trying to teach him the game in the midfield. And they've just been run with roles. These guys will take you to the footy. So we've done that on several occasions with him this year, and he's performed really well in those roles for us.
Have you got the pressure to go from 14th best in the competition to the best side? It's a big improvement.
Yeah. So we've just got to keep working on our process and just from week to week just get consistency with the way that we go about it.
Is it tactically or is it mindset or a combination of both?
A little bit of both, I think, Roo. But all we need to do is concentrate on the things that we've got control over, and that's our group of players and the roles that they can play and the method of play that we're going to try and do, and then try and negate some of the strengths of the opposition side as we play throughout the course of the game.
The Clarko's cluster to the Clarko's clamp. The one-on-one Clarko, do you see that's the best defensive mechanism right now as the game evolves?
Well, I think it's unbelievable how the game continues to evolve, and most of that is to do with coaching. Sometimes the game itself think that we need to keep imparting rules on the game, but most of the time, there's trends like this all the time, and for a long period of time, scoring was prevalent, and then it was locked down and defensive became more prevalent. But right at the current time, there's a nice balance between the two. So, it seems like a lot more teams are going towards the more 1v1 out the back in particular.
You've got the ability to kick the ball really well. Your efficiency is really high this year versus the handball game as well, which you're playing both. Which is your preference, or is it one that whatever the game gives us, we've got to take?
Yeah, well, I think there's probably the two best sides in the competition in Brisbane and Sydney. One's predominantly a handball side, and the other's predominantly a kicking side. And ideally, I'd probably get a bit of both, but that's we're a long way from those sides in both of those areas, really. But we're working on it, and I think if you can get a balance between the two, as we saw, with Collingwood last night, they really quelled Sydney's handball game in the first half. It was just outstanding defence. So it would have been handy for Sydney to just be able to chip the ball around a little bit, which they ended up doing, and probably got them back into the game.
Always good to get off to a good start on the road. Adelaide have only won 1 of 9 first quarters, so it'd be handy if that could repeat itself today.
I hope it's 1 of 10 after the first quarter, Roo.
Clarko, based on the Crows, though, and the inconsistency we've seen today, what have you really got to be on in terms of their play?
Around the middle of the ground, they got some high quality in the middle of the ground. Rankin was best on ground against the Tigers last week, and McAndrew's been given some good supply, and it's been a bit interrupted for their captain in the last month or so. The unfortunate circumstance with his family, but he is a high quality player. So like any game, if you can win the supply in the middle of the ground. I saw a game here 3 weeks ago between Port and Geelong. And we rate Geelong really, really highly, and Geelong just couldn't get it out of their back end. So if you can win that midfield battle, particularly on this oval, and lock it into your front half, it gives you the greatest chance to win the game.
Well, hopefully you can salute today for the first time for the Kangas here at Adelaide Oval.
Let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. Good on you. Thanks, guys.
On you,
Cheers.
Alistair Clarkson looking to open his account here. North Melbourne 0-13. It's a tough place to play, as you two know. Adelaide, though, they're in, so you would love an unchanged outfit, but their omissions and injuries have hit them hard, Roo.
Oh, they haven't been unchanged all year, I don't think. They've had players coming in and out, and they've probably had anywhere between 6 and 8 of their best players out every week, but they've made a few more changes. Darcy Fogarty's been out for 5 or 6 weeks with a bad back. He comes back in after 1 game in the sample. Butts is back from a groin injury, and Nankervis was the late change when Thilthorpe come out yesterday at the captain's run, so that was a surprise for most. Most people would think that you'd want another tall to come in. This is probably the smallest side that Adelaide have picked all year. Ken, are you surprised about Nankervis coming in?
Yeah, I am a little, because of the balance of the team and the way the Crows are used to playing. They're used to having the 3 talls, and Fogg is not really a genuine tall, is he? He's not Tex and he's not Riley, so you don't really have that other real tall target to kick to. Maybe the big fella McAndrew gets down there.
They'll have to move the ball faster if they're going to play a forward line like this.
Well, that'll be a great result, because they need to move the ball faster.
Maybe they're doing it to make them do it.
Yeah, well, it might be. I mean, well coached then. If Nixie does that and he wins the first quarter with electric fast ball movement, he'll be very, very happy with that.
And there's their form line, Dicko. They've won 4 of the last 5, Adelaide, but hardly beaten anyone and then got absolutely pantsed against the Lions.
Yeah, if you look at the last 5 weeks of the Roos, they've been up against some tough opposition. So the form line for the Roos is probably stronger than you would see, Kenny, with the Crows.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've been playing the top sides in the ladder, and the Crows have played the sides a bit lower down in the ladder. So clearly the North's form is really, really good for this game. I think they're in a... We just talked to Clarko 13 times. I think they've lost here at Adelaide Oval. I reckon they'd be thinking this might be the one.
50-50, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it.
50-50 today.
50-50. And Roo, you already touched on the slow starts of the Crows. You threw a stat out earlier to Clarko. He's hoping it'll be 1 from 10.
Yeah, well, they've only won 1 first quarter this year out of the 9 that they've played. So, I mean, that's a terrible start. After 3 or 4, Ken, I'm sure as a coach you'd be trying something different, wouldn't you, pre-game?
Yeah, you'd be trying.
Not saying they haven't, but...
Yeah. No, I'm sure they
What can you do? A faster warm-up, switch them on. What do you do?
Keep the footies off them, make them hungry, all those sort of things.
Turn the music up louder.
Yeah, turn it louder, you know, do all those sort of stuff. Yeah, high-five a few more players before you go out.
Push-ups.
But the reality was, you know, their slow starts are real. And, you know, and last week with what they were able to do with around ball movement, around contested possession, all the things that we need to have right, they've just got to... you know, they've got to bring a bit of energy and a bit of urgency to the start. Almost like you said, Nixie's got to risk some mishaps to get the game going the way he wants.
And Adelaide would want them to be able to flick the switch earlier. They flicked it in the 3rd quarter last week for 20 minutes, and this was the result. They absolutely played some great footy. They looked like the shades of last year, but they only did it for 20 minutes, and they got 5 goals in front and thought, that's enough. We'll go back to sort of chipping it around a bit. So I'm sure Matty Nix and Murray Davis and all the coaching staff would love to see Adelaide at their best for a lot more than 20 minutes today.
And let's not be too disrespectful. The Tigers are not the challenge. You know, they had 18 injuries, so the Crows should have been and could have done that for the whole 4 quarters. Today's a different team. This team they're playing today is an emerging team in the comp who win the ball around the contest, who push it forward. So Crows are going to get tested big time.
Absolutely. North definitely in form, mightn't seem so with their wins and losses, but we have some incredible Indigenous athletes in our competition with talents both on and off the field.
Sleep now under my skin. Make sure you try to conjure the wind and ease my mind.
Rioli, hunted down by Rioli.
Somebody call out to your brother.
Oh my God!
He's calling out your name.
Nessaiah's on fire. Alex Pearce.
Couldn't help but your neighbor.
The hero.
You tell it to his face.
Here comes. She can do it all.
Apply the blade.
Bolton waves, dribbles, rolls it home. Now the highlights start to come. Lord Francis. Cameron, game-altering goal. Jarman looks at Petrarca. I've got you covered as well. Liam Ryan. Whatever advice is absolutely perfect. Simpkin. Oh, wow. Get after it. Timing, execution, perfect, Isaac.
Celebrating Sir Doug Nichols round. It's time now to bring in Eddie Betts. And Eddie, you were the curtain raiser today here at Adelaide Oval with your foundation game. How was that?
Yeah, it was good. You know, for the young kids to have that experience. We did it last year when Crows played West Coast, and you know, they never got the opportunity to play on an AFL ground, but it was just super exciting. There was so much talent there, and it was really good to watch.
Surprise, surprise, they were biting off a few kicks. I was watching them, Ed. Can you get a couple in the Crows back line just to get the ball moving a bit better?
Yeah, well, even our team in particular, they were too far forward. They were more attacking and left our fullback 1v5.
No defending?
No defending. It was all attacking. I'm always trying to say defence wins games, boys. So start, defend, attack second.
Your son, Louis, how did you rate his game today?
Oh, yeah, he kicked the first goal for us. He's a left footer, so got it in. Got a little, yeah, he's only 13 at the, so he's a young boy coming through. So they said to him on the bench, Jared Mears and Lindsay Thomas, who was coaching the other side, said, "You want to, for the last quarter, swap over?" He goes, "Nah, I'm staying with Dad." So, so he stayed there. But even for the Adelaide Crows, there was about 8 APY Lounge boys that drove down yesterday, 13 hours in the car. They got here at 6 o'clock, had dinner with us, straight here, and they've never ever played on a ground with grass before.
What an experience.
And so for them to come in their first game on grass is Adelaide Oval.
How'd they perform?
That was super. That was good. One of the boys kicked 3 goals down there, and just to watch those boys and have that experience as well.
I had a game in the Tiwi Islands once when I was playing for the Crows. We went up there at Christmas time. I couldn't get a kick. They were that quick. They were unbelievable.
but it's more so giving these kids the opportunities, and that's the thing. We've got a platform now, and I'm in a privileged position. I wasn't always in a privileged position, but now it's my passion to give back to these young kids because they deserve every bit of success, and they come from nothing, and I came from nothing, and knew how hard it was. So I want to make it easier for these kids to succeed and chase their dreams, and that's playing AFL footy.
What's our way, Eddie, to get more of the boys back into the game? I mean, those boys, I was watching them upstairs for a good hour, and there's some real talent out there running around playing footy. How do we get more of the Indigenous boys back into our game and help them?
Yeah, I think more so it's equity. Getting these young kids in the pathway at age, we had 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds playing. So at that age, getting them down, putting them in the pathway as the non-Indigenous kids and watching them grow all the way through with that wraparound support. And listening to you when you spoke about Willie Rioli, and I was listening to what you said about when you draft an AFL kid, you have to go over and above. You have to wrap your arms around them, support them, love and care, know where he's come from. And then that's where the trust factor comes in, and then they shine on the footy field.
I seen Willie, and I was talking to him not a few weeks ago, and he's really happy. He's back home. That's the challenge for us when we get the boys and we bring them back down to Melbourne or Adelaide or any of the interstate places and get them to make them feel safe in the environment. Do you think that's a challenge for the competition still?
Yes and no, but more so if you look at the St Kilda environment where, Ross Lyon said to him, you boys got to split up.
Yeah.
We're a family here, but that bunch of Indigenous boys, yes, St Kilda is a family, but this is their inner circle family. They're a family within a family. That's their safety. That's their home. And it was great how Ross responded to that. And so, as Aboriginal players, we draw to each other in an environment where we feel, I guess, it's not built for you. So,
let's have a look at Rankin's back in a bit of form, Ed. Isaac Rankin's back in a bit of form last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, I did that game last week, and watching Isaac, he started in the midfield and spent predominantly like 80-90% in the midfield. Josh Rosselli went forward, and the way that he played last week, he was dominant up forward. He started cramping in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, but he had to because he ran all day. But I think we were calling for that early on in the year, Roo, about Isaac spending more time in the midfield and what he did in the last couple of years playing there, and he just showed that on the weekend. 32 disposals, a goal, and just absolute dominant.
Kenny, he's our Chemist Warehouse player in focus. How hard to coach against?
Oh, he's an absolute nightmare. As bad as the bloke beside me, to be honest. They cause you all sorts of dramas because they can do the unpredictable, and they do it often. They don't just do it once. They do it unpredictable often. And then they point to these pockets that I'm standing in at the moment and tell the world that they own it, and the crowd go crazy. But there's nothing better than watching Isaac Rankin in full flow. He is such a talented player, one of my absolute favourites in the game to watch play footy. And, for the Crows' point of view, they need him to be that for the rest of the year.
He's one of the most exciting players to watch for, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And Adelaide need that razzle-dazzle in the midfield, whether that's with him and Josh Rosselli. Hopefully we see them both in there together at times today.
Eddie, I noticed he came out and had a bit of a chat to your boys as well, so they would have got a lift, Isaac coming out and just getting amongst them.
Yeah, it was. And, Isaac came out last week and spoke to when we played the game, and one of the boys kicked the goal, Edward Darcy from Tiwi Islands, did the celebration and told Ranks to do it, and he did it in the game, did the same celebration. So
he's a superstar. Special. Matty Nix joins us next.
Super Saturday.
The Doug Nicholls round provides so much for all of us.
From 4 in the Arvo, Hawthorn and Melbourne, live and exclusive to Fox Footy and KO.
That's when footy's at its absolute best.
Featuring these two headline acts, Cozzy Pickett,
Keziah on fire,
Nick Watson.
Bread and butter stuff for the Wizard.
Cozzy ascending to prime mover.
The electricity of Cozzy Pickett.
In this rejig Demons engine room, power with a presence to match.
When greatness calls at the MCG, Cozzy Pickett is there again.
And an unrelenting appetite for greatness.
Well, yeah, I want to be the best. I feel like I can take my game to the next level. That's what the best players do. They just want to keep getting better and better. That's what I want to do, is be the best in the club.
Pickett! Oh, wow. What a mark. He can do it all.
A up against Nick Watson, the aptly nicknamed Wizard.
The Wizard doing wizardry.
How he strikes the footy at full pace with surgical calm.
A little bit of abracadabra.
And then we know the rest.
Watson, he really can do magic.
Craft, you just can't buy on the shelf.
What's it got for us, Wizard?
Hawthorn fans haven't been this spellbound by a small forward since the genius of an emerging Cyril Rioli. Cozzy and the Wizard.
They're off to see the Wizard.
The comp's two most watchable players and the only place to see them do their thing this Super Saturday is right here, live and exclusive to Fox Footy and KO Sports, Australia's sports leader. You're watching Super Saturday Live on Fox. Brought to you by Toyota Tundra. Ready for everything.
This program brought to you by NAB, your partner for every stage of business. Amy. Lucky you're with Amy. Toyota Tundra. Ready for everything. Bunnings. Proudly getting behind the big freeze. And Harvey Norman. Shop best brands, best range, best prices.
afternoon for football here at Adelaide Oval. The Crows looking for 3 in a row and North looking to break the hoodoo here. They are 0-13 from the attempted wins here at Adelaide Oval. As I'm welcoming Mark Rashid on Kenny Hinkley. Welcome to Super Saturday, brought to you by Toyota Tundra. Ready for everything. We're looking forward to this clash, aren't we, as we welcome in the Adelaide coach. He's coming in now, Matty Nixie, welcome. Thanks, guys. Last year, you didn't have any injuries. This year, the challenge is getting your players on the park.
Yeah, but it's got us in a position where we're able to look at a few. And we're standing up. I mean, we're winning games of footy, so outcome's okay. We're a little bit, got a bit of work to do just on how we're getting the outcome, but I'll tell you what, we walk off here today with an outcome, we'll be very pleased because we're playing a great side.
One first quarter for the year, Nixie. What have you tried to change that up a little bit?
Well, I haven't addressed them. I have addressed them. We've been out the back of the stand. We've got amongst the crowd. I mean, you try a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's what we bring when we get on the ground. We played some good opposition. Sometimes you've got to clap your hands and give them credit where it's due. Again, we don't win the first quarter, okay, as long as we're in front on the scoreboard after the fourth.
What about the, you said you were in front at the fourth, but what about the patches that you're playing in? Last week again, we've seen a perfect example against the Tigers. That 20-minute of power sets the game up and puts the game away. Are you concerned that that's too infrequent? And clearly you'd love it to be a bit more frequent, but what are you doing to try and improve that part of your game?
Yeah, we're probably looking at it from a different perspective. Extremely optimistic that it's there. We know it's there. We know we've got that part to our game. We want to see it a lot more, Ken. 20 minutes is not enough, mate. It was last weekend. It won't be enough today. How do we do that quarter by quarter? 20 minutes, a quarter. We know it's not going to be on our terms for the entire game. Well, it's more than unlikely, but how do we get that in each quarter? That's our challenge.
A bit surprising, went for Nankervis when Phil Thorpe went out. It's probably the shortest side you've had all year.
Yeah.
Is that an indication it's going to be something different? Is it the weather that you thought it was going to be wet, or what's happening?
No, a little bit of just personnel and the way we want to play. We've gone big ahead of the ball, hell of a lot over the last few years. We wanted to bring in a little bit of run, probably a little more pressure. We feel like we haven't really pressured the footy in our front half like we need to. And so that's the decision where we went.
And your threats today are North Melbourne. As you said, they're a pretty good side and they're in pretty good form. The midfield battle, it's going to be crucial to the outcome. On this ground, field position vital. Have you do anything slightly different?
Yeah, do we want too many stoppages or don't we? And are we able to influence that? They're very, very good at stoppage. They've got some real power bodies, speed and power through there. We'll do what we can to get the game on our terms. We back our midfield in. We also respect what we're up against today.
Nixie, we look at the numbers and after time we can guess what's working, what's not in terms of your method. But what's drawing your most attention at training on your game?
What are we working through? Yeah. It's a punch-off half-back. It's this balance of controlling the game versus taking a risk versus using hands. I think we're seeing, and the stats show it clearly, that the best sides are handballing the ball and being able to handball the ball forward. We're seeing Sydney just take the game on. You saw last night, outstanding 40-odd possessions off half-back and a goal. That's easier said than done, but we're training that, right? So we're bringing that, and it'll depend on what our oppo bring. Are they able to shut that down? But hopefully today we get a chance to show a little bit of what we're working on. If we don't again, let's just finish in front when the final siren goes.
Well, it's been raining all week, so you've got a beautiful afternoon for football. Good luck.
Yeah, we should get a bit of footy in, hopefully.
Good luck, Nixie.
Thanks, Nixie. Appreciate your time. Let's turn our attention to North Melbourne. So no changes, nice and healthy in terms of their form as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're having a great year, really big bounce up. Their contested possession clearance has gone from 12th, 15th in the comp up into the top 4, and their pressure's gone from 14th in the comp to 1st in the comp. So they are fit and firing at the moment, and when you're unchanged on the road, it's a good thing, Ken.
Yeah, I think they're almost the opposite of the Crows. The Crows have been stuttering along and spluttering along a little bit. The Kangas have been playing the good teams and just falling short. I think it's a really big opportunity from today. This might be a day for the Kangaroos where they announce themselves a bit more and take on a side who's a bit similar to them and take them on a deck that they haven't been able to win on. Their ball game is around winning the contest and locking it in. This ground is perfect for that.
You said it might be their day, Ken. They're hoping as well. 0-13 from the attempted wins here. 0-13. We're never ever won here at Adelaide Oval. Incredible stat, but North Melbourne, their form is stacking up against the good teams in the competition, so it's going to be an absolute ripper. Lee Montagna will pick it up after the break. We're all the way up to the ball up, and you are watching Super Saturday live.
This program brought to you by Sportsbet, the #1 app for having a crack. You win some, you lose more.
Sir Doug Nicholls round continues at the Adelaide Oval. It's Kuwana taking on North Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval. And as Ben Dixon just told us, where the Kangaroos have never won. But you feel this is an evenly matched contest this afternoon. 8th playing 12th, North Melbourne. Lost 4 of their last 5, but have been in pretty good form, particularly against Sydney, the Giants and Geelong. Adelaide have won 4 of their last 5. They've played in a lot of close games, but we are looking forward to it. The rain has held off. There was a few showers earlier this afternoon. At the moment, beautiful conditions, and we are not far away from the first ball up in what will be a great way to start our Saturday of football as we head downstairs to the Welcome to Country ceremony.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Adelaide Oval. Here on Ghana land, today we celebrate Sir Doug Nicholls Round, and it is my pleasure to welcome Kumakaru Group to perform today's greeting to Spirit of Place.
Nanari Lukurika Wilson, Nagana, Narangeti, Naranga, Aranda, Nadri Mio, Matawicha Nalakumirna, Nawangati. Mani Nabudni, Garni Yarta Ana, Kumatana Yachamirna. Just quickly, we want to pay respect to the Yolngu people, traditional owners of the didgeridoo, traditionally known as a Yiraki, for allowing us to play here on country today. The 2 boys here and the kids are walking around to smoke the players and officials. What this does, it cleanses the land, it will cleanse the players and officials to keep all the negatives away, so we can all get on and enjoy the game today. Where we stand today, where we meet, traditionally here in Adelaide, traditionally known as Tarandanya. Tarandanya is the dreaming of the big red kangaroo. Adelaide's been a place for people all over Australia to come together and meet and gather around for thousands of years. So we're very grateful to gather here today for a game that we all love to watch and support. I just want to extend our welcome to all other countrymen here today on our land, countrymen watching from your homelands on the TV. Whether you've travelled far or near, you're a local or you're visiting, we want to extend that welcome to you as well. So officially we want to welcome you all to Ghana country, and good luck to both teams today. Natalia, thank you.
Thank you to Kumakaru for that amazing welcome to country. Guana will exchange a boomerang made from red gum. The boomerang is more than a tool. It represents connection, continuity, and responsibility to country. Like its journey, what we put into our teams comes back to us. Thank you, everyone.
It certainly is a great weekend to celebrate some of the Indigenous talent that we have had through our game over the years. It's been absolutely magnificent, and the crowd is building, and we are not far away. Speaking of Indigenous talent, this man on screen, Isaac Rankin, midfield Isaac, the last couple of weeks. He'll look to continue on his red-hot form and help steer the Crows for another win. Try and get on 6 on the season. Matthew Nix needs to get his team to start well. Their first quarters have been really poor this season. You know about the form of North Melbourne, but they would love the 4 points and to get their first win at the Adelaide Oval. Cooper Trembath, one of those guys that needs to have a big game ever since signing that contract extension a few weeks ago. The bath's gone cold, Brew. He hasn't kicked the goal for 3 weeks, and he will be certainly keen to bounce back. But Mark Rashudo, Ken Ickley, it's an exciting game. You've mentioned it, evenly poised, and could go either way.
Oh, it could go either way. North Melbourne's strengths, Adelaide's weaknesses, which gives, it all points towards North Melbourne having a real crack here with the contested possession and clearances and the pressure. Is if they can continue that today, it'll make it hard for Adelaide. But Adelaide will be well aware that they're out of form. They'll be wanting to play better than they are. And just chatting to Matty Nixie, you got a feeling that he was going to try something different a bit today. But he'd be wrapped with Captain Jordan Dawson back in form last week, back in the side after a really, really tough month. He'd still be dealing with a lot of grief personally away from the football field. But when he's been playing, he has been playing at his absolute best. He's been moved around a little bit, played in defence last week because he'd hardly trained for 3 weeks. They moved him in the middle in the third quarter, and surprise, surprise, they had their best 20 minutes of the game. Everyone knows what he can do forward as well. So they'd love to have 3 of them. They've got 1 of him, and they'll move him where they need him.
So, Ken, I was going to ask you, where would you play Jordan Dawson today? We've seen him play a bit of half-back because they need to get their ball movement game going. Do they play him more forward today with a bit of that small lineup? How would you work him into the game?
Yeah, I think he'll definitely play forward. I think he has to play forward with the team that they've picked. So he goes forward. He's a real scoring threat. You know, McAndrew could also go down there at times and chop out with a little bit of lack of height that they've got. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Dawson, but he's a match winner clearly, and he's going to be vital to the outcome for him.
We go into the Amy Centre circle. You can see Jai Simpkin and Charlie Comben there. Miller, Isaac Rankin, of course, that man we just spoke of, Jordan Dawson. Of course, one of the highlights of Sir Doug Nichols' round are the jerseys. And the Guana jersey today, designed by Wayne Miller. Weaves together family culture and the path that shaped his football career. The North Melbourne jersey designed by acclaimed artist Emma Bamblett. It's a visual tribute to the 33 past and present First Nations players who have represented the Kangaroos. And we're not far away from a start here. We're building, and of course, Finn O'Sullivan. Didn't quite get to talk about him pre-game, where Alistair Clarkson said not so much a tagging role, but a run-with role on some of the opposition's best players. He's gone to Butters, Merritt, Sam Walsh, Isaac Heaney. Does he go to Isaac Rankin or Jordan Dawson today?
We'll find out very, very shortly. It could go to either. I guess he's going to go whoever's in the midfield. If they're both in there, yeah, you take your pick. They're both superstars of the game. So be interesting. We were talking to Matty Nix about the handball forward. So Crows fans, you might see a slightly different technique, a little bit more handball, do you think, Ken?
Yeah, I suspect with what he told us on the ground about what they've been training at during the week. So you would think they're going to go a little bit more handball. Nankervis can play off half-back as well, can't he, and light up a little bit. So I'm just watching them spread out to their grounds now at the position, and it looks like Dawson's in the middle with Rankin. So Finn O'Sullivan's going to get his choice, but we expect the Crows to play a little bit more aggressive at the start of the game.
And Finn O'Sullivan, look, you can use it. He could be there for 2 reasons. He could be there to shut the best midfielder down from the opposition, or it can fast-track his development as a midfielder. As someone to run with the superstars of the game, you get a very, very great on-the-job experience doing it. So he's near Sam Berry at the moment. I'll be surprised if he stays with him.
We're all set. Adelaide Oval, Saturday afternoon. Good conditions to start. And straight away, a free kick.
Yeah, that was almost a professional free kick. If he didn't have hold of his jersey there, he would have been running unattended into the forward 50.
Midfield battle going to be significant today. Sheasel has been in sensational form, as has Zerha since moving to half-back. First entry inside 50, ball ace. It'll come straight back in, though. McDonald will kick it high to the top of the square. A lot of numbers around this footy, but straight into the action, and straight away he's given away the free kick.
Yep, that's exactly the way the game will get played if the Kangaroos dominate field position. They'll get it in and then put Crows under pressure, quick kick, straight back in at you.
Crowd don't like it, but Nick Larkey, for only the third time in his last 34 games, was held goalless last week in that 8-point loss to the Sydney Swans. Will kick his first inside the first 40 seconds.
Yeah, we can see on the replay there, he didn't push him in the back, had his hand on his shoulder or arm over the shoulder, so you're not allowed to do that as a defender, and he gave away the free kick. Let's have a look at the centre square. There's the grab because he was panicking. He was going to bolt straight through, but gee whiz, was he on the move there, Sheasel?
Yeah, he was certainly on the move, and he was trying to make sure he got the ball forward as quick as he could. So looked like the Crows won the hit out too, so lucky break in some ways, but they got it done.
Slow starters, Adelaide. We talked about that in the pre-game. They've only won 1 of 9 first quarters this year, so we're looking forward to changing that one today, but they're not off to a good start again.
It's going to be a challenge too for big Lockie McAndrew. He's had a sensational season, but he's up against the beast that is Tristan Sherry. Dawson just wants to surge it. Coming off hard was Pedler off the line. Although another free kick, so 3 early ones going North Melbourne's way.
Obvious free.
And now they link up by hand. Sheasel, Zerha and Simpkin. Happy to retreat. Adelaide have folded back, so it allows Logan, Caleb Daniel to take their time, although Caleb Daniel was caught in 2 minds. Neil Bullen, who's normally such a good tackler, wasn't able to hold him up, and now Larkey. Something he likes out wide. Rankin made a good effort, but Sheasel, good hands.
Yeah, great catch.
Yeah, giving a lot of room in the midfield at the moment, the Crows. They want to tighten that up very quickly, otherwise this fella will have a good day, and that will be damaging on the scoreboard as well.
Spoke about his form. 7 of the 9 games this year, he's had 30-plus disposals. He's polled coaches' votes 3 of the last 4 weeks. And more importantly for him, he's adding this to his repertoire, being able to kick goals. He's kicked goals 5 of his last 6 games. He spoke about wanting to improve this part of his game, not this time. He won't have the journey. Good hands from McAndrew.
And that part of his game has improved as well. You need your rucks to be able to do it. Oh, look out.
Yeah, that part of the game's still a concern. It's put Adelaide in a vulnerable position. Stevens able to step on his left, just couldn't hook it back enough.
You just see a turnover from Adelaide once again, trying to rebound out of D50. We spoke to Matty Nix, that's his biggest concern at the moment. And the fact that North are going one-on-one's not going to help.
Yeah, let's see how they try and move the footy. They wanted to go quick again, but they've run themselves into trouble for a second time. Curtis couldn't break through, and he's going to get another free kick for Hiles.
They are shooting themselves in the foot, Adelaide, here at the moment. North Melbourne's pressure's been very good, but is it the 3rd or 4th free kick early on in this contest, and 2 within 15 metres of the goal face.
And that's their second forward half intercept route for the start of the game, which is exactly the way they want to play.
Yeah, last week 29 forward half intercepts, their best since 2019.
You saw there it was against Rory Laird. Paul Curtis makes no mistake, and early again Adelaide on the back foot.
Well, Adelaide are on the back foot, but North Melbourne are on the front foot, Ken, aren't they? And that's what we expected.
Yeah, it's exactly what the game was going to provide. Crows' challenges was the field position territory battle that the Kangaroos are winning. Their 2 goals won have all come from front half intercepts now. And I know the game's only just got started, but that's the pressure that they've been able to bring in their forward half. And they know what their strengths are right now, I reckon, the Kangaroos. They know exactly the way they want to play the game, and they're doing it right from the start.
That all started with a poor kick from Josh Worrell from full back. Laird couldn't mark the ball. He had to play on, and as a result, he ended up getting smothered. So there's been a couple of poor skill errors, and that's resulted in a few free kicks that have been really costly.
Well, the form line said this might be the case. North Melbourne have won 7 of their 9 first quarters. Gumana just won, and another free kick.
Yeah,
and we're going to watch out for the crowd there, Brew.
No,
Adelaide faithful.
The crowd's frustrated, but the free kicks have been there. They're not the wrong free kicks. Adelaide are giving the free kicks away.
And then Parker just worked Keys off the footy easily. And they're going to use the numbers through the middle of the ground. Davies Uniacke, Caleb Daniel again. For a second time, just changed his mind late, but it was a good option. Sheasel. Again, they'll drive it in deep towards the pocket. McAndrew for a second time, getting back.
North Melbourne have been able to go from the 15th best clearance side to the 3rd best in 1 year. 12th for the contested possessions into 4th as well. Massive improvements.
See the crowd just imploring him to go long. That's what he did, but it's going to come back anyway. Stevens has time to straighten up. Fire away. And he's missed his second.
Not going to get far if they just keep dump kicking out of defence, the Crows, in this one. They've got a wall set up north.
I tell you what else they won't get far with, if they let Sheasel have 6 in every 4 or 5 minutes.
And even Miller, one of the best kicks in their team out of half-back, turns it over. So again, they're putting themselves under all sorts of pressure. Simpkin tried to find, I think he was looking for Curtis. McCurchie got in the way and wraps up.
Well, perfect start for North Melbourne. They would love this on the road. Exactly what you want to do. Adelaide now, though, they need their leaders to get around and talk to the players and get their confidence up, because they'll be very nervous at the moment out there.
It's 32 disposals to 8. Simpkin has got the journey. Standing start. Lets it fly and just missed again, but they are peppering away.
So they'll be doubting themselves, ever Adelaide players, so they need to know that they need to get to each other and just be absolutely strong under enormous pressure here at the moment.
North Melbourne have numbered off well, so there's no free play to find a mark. And again, they kick it straight to.
He's about to have his 5th. That's his 5th, Sherry. And Ruckman having 5 in the first 6 or 7.
Zerha will go lateral to McDonald. They want to play this forward half game. North Melbourne's been a strength of theirs. They'll be patient. Stevens again.
Play on.
Not a lot up ahead, so he'll be forced to kick to a contest in the pocket.
Play on.
Dawson. Peatling, Miller. Chain of handballs. They do this nicely, and now it's in the right hands. Oh, he's under pressure, Dawson. So happy to go to a contest. And North Melbourne would be happy for that to go out of bounds. Free kick.
On the line, Toby.
Just not working hard enough, Adelaide. I mean, a little bit of overlap run. They've got to get the 45, get some corridor access, but they're just flat-footed.
Doing a lot of defending here, the Crows. North Melbourne, for an 8th time, will go inside 50. Miller up, couldn't take the mark. There's enough time. Borlase under pressure. North's forward half pressure, excellent. Davies Uniacke just trying to find a way through. Couldn't break the tackle. Good effort from Borlase. Dersma, we know he's a talent outside of the boots.
It looks like Costante's also going to Miller at the moment, so he might be having the task of trying to slow him up.
Yeah, we talk about confidence, and Adelaide need to keep it up. You see Wayne Miller dropped a mark that he's been taking all year, so it doesn't take long to get the fumbles.
And now they get through. That's better. Oh, some Bronx cheers from the Adelaide crowd as Fogarty takes the mark. Back into the team for the first time since round 3. And now Michael Laney will look to get Guyana inside 50 for the first time, but not yet.
Adelaide with their smallest side, smallest forward line, only Fogarty and Toby Murray is the tools in the forward half. So there's the pressure rating. Adelaide way under AFL average and North Melbourne way above AFL average.
Crows need to lift. It starts around the footy. Pedler, he was held without it.
Crowd are going mad, but the umpires have done nothing wrong at this stage.
First free kick for the Crows. Oh, a great one from Pedler. Sheasel again coming up for disposal, number 7. There's the former captain, former best and fairest winner, McDonald. He's now forced to go looking for the Current skipper, get to the back. Stevens was first to it. Good chase from Cook, never gave up on it. Forced a turnover. Here's a chance for the Crows. Keys on his left. Will just pop it up. Wants a contest from Murray. He did. Now for the Smalls. Pedler always goes hard. Peatling might have been taken high. He was.
Well,
that'll make him a bit happier, Room.
What a fantastic contest that was by Luke Pedler and Cam Zerha. They hit the ball as fast as they possibly could. So, great contest by Luke, who set this one up.
Time back on.
Bit of blood getting around the snoz. There's the contest in the screen there, and over the shoulder with the right hand by Sheasel.
Another consistent season, James Peatling. He has a great record against North Melbourne. He's averaging 18 disposals, 2 goals a game in his 3 outings, and they need this to settle themselves, and he delivers.
Much needed goal by Adelaide, little confidence booster. Let's have a look at what started it. It was Braden Cook, who's had an absolute breakout year. Just didn't give up on the Dylan Stevens chase. That caused the turnover. And there's the collision from Pedler and Zerha. A couple of hard nuts there going at the ball. Zerha looks like he's down the back line again, trying to get into a bit of form. Have a look at this. Right, Adelaide on the board and hoping now they can go back to the centre and win their first centre bounce clearance. It's 3-zip in the centre square so far.
And I reckon they've made a change. I reckon Peatling is now going to Sheasel from the centre bounce.
Well, North Melbourne bring Wardlaw into the action. He started on the bench. There he is. He throws that out.
Adelaide. You take it. Yep. Stop. Stand. Let him run.
So it'll go the way of the skipper, Jordan Dawson.
Play up.
Excellent against Richmond last week. That long left boot. Got the penetration. It was able to get to Pedler. He couldn't take the mark. Now it's North Melbourne's defence under siege. Taylor heard the call. Berry did it nicely. And then the smother from Sheasel. Very good. And another free kick.
Oh, he's grabbed his shoulder here or neck. Zach Taylor, is it? Yep.
He was there. He just certainly got him high.
Gee, Pedler dropped the mark he should have taken as well.
That's what the Crows needed. They needed to change the game a little bit, didn't they? They needed to push it back to this end of the ground, and they've certainly been able to do that in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So,
well, they've won the last couple of clearances, which makes a huge difference, and got a couple of free kicks of their own.
Now, after North Melbourne won the first 5 free kicks, Adelaide have got the last 4, and again, they've all been there. And after the slow start, if Taylor can squeeze it home, he can't.
As expected, Isaac Rankin's got Finn O'Sullivan, and even coming on their changeover together, so he's going to be with him all day. Even follow him to the Brasco, he'd knock on the door.
Very annoying when you're getting tagged and your player comes off at the same time.
Oh, Daniel's kick was a beauty for Big Will Dawson.
You know you're in for a tough day when they do that.
Play the second ruck roll again as Sherry has a spell. Down the line, and there is Jordan Butts.
Well, that's an example of where the confidence is at. He was by himself there, should have put 2 hands up and just marked it. First game back after a bit of a groin injury, so he might be just easing his way into it. He's already given away a goal by a free kick as well, so you can understand maybe he's a bit low on confidence.
The key pillar of this Adelaide side that hasn't had any continuity to start this season. Wardlaw. He's penalised.
Well, North were happy to give an extra to Adelaide at that stoppage, so you've got to take advantage of that.
Here's Rochelle, his first touch of the afternoon, and it's an absolute beauty.
Oh, that's close.
And 50.
Yeah.
No?
It is 50.
Yeah. I don't think you can whinge with that one, North Melbourne fans. They did one on the wing earlier. That wasn't 50. That one there was a little bit late and a little bit high, and it doesn't take much to give away a 50-metre penalty these days.
That was stupid.
I'm with you, Kenny.
That was just silly. I mean, you just don't need to do that. I mean, Charlie Comben, he can play really aggressive footy, but that